Welcome to Eden Prairie High School for State Class 6A football. A quarterfinal round matchup here tonight between the Osseo Orioles and the Lakeville North Panthers. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Joe Moline. And Joe, we might be in for some offensive fireworks here based on what these teams have been doing. Lakeville North's averaging about 35 points a game, Osseo a little over 32. I think both teams, their question is, how many times can we get stops in this one?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big key here tonight, getting stops. And because of the fact that the offenses are kind of as powerful as they are, I tend to wonder what kind of gambling we'll see here tonight. How often are people going to want to go for it on fourth down? Are we going to see some fake punts, things like that? I think that's going to play a big role tonight as well.
What also makes these offenses interesting is they're both able to get it done with the run and the pass, too. You can't entirely sit on one thing or the other.
Yeah, you got good offensive lines, and then you have no shortage of athletes, right? Receivers on the outside, and on the Osseo side, you got a quarterback that's a dual threat. He can run the football and throw the football. And Lakeville North, you got an experienced quarterback. He started 3 years and has a great wide receiver, an all-state possibility at wide receiver catching the football. So a lot of athletes on the offensive side of the ball.
Osseo had a little bit of a lull in the mid-season toward the late in the regular season. A lot of it had to do with injuries, and that's kind of forgotten for them now. They had a couple tough outings against teams that, had some kind of middle-of-the-pack records, but right now playing very good football these last few weeks.
Yeah, and I think Osseo is coming in its own, and they've done this the last couple of years now, Jay. They play almost better than you'd expect in the regular season, and then they even turn it up a notch in the playoffs, and I think Coach Lamcraft will be very proud of that. And I think another key thing is they're a speed team, and a lot of times when you get to the outdoors, they always thought that, the outdoors in Minnesota doesn't really work for what Osseo does. Well, we got great weather right now. You get a turf field. This is going to play in Osseo's hands pretty well this season, the way the weather's been.
Let's talk about key players to keep an eye on in tonight's contest. Again, there'll be a lot of good ones, but starting with Osseo, Prince Krua carried the ball a mere 45 times last week against Hopkins, 364 yards rushing. He ran harder than I've ever seen him, and he's had a great career, but that was his best performance I've ever seen.
When you think of that many carries, you think of like a Jerome Bettis type of body type, a big guy, but he's actually a speedster, right? And he breaks the big runs. But, Hopkins defenders were bouncing off him. He is a powerful runner, and we've seen him make big plays since he stepped in the scene his sophomore season, and he's a big reason why Osseo is here today.
Well, we talked about Lakeville North has a great running game, but also can really throw the ball. Nick Fossey has 14 touchdown catches for them, so you can't afford to sell out against the run.
Yeah, and I think Osseo kind of has the athletes that can maybe play against them. It'll be interesting. I think Osseo is going to really try to get in the backfield and disrupt the passing game and maybe not give them an opportunity. And it'll be interesting if they double team them or if they're going to try to put pressure on the quarterback. That's a choice that Osseo has to make tonight.
I think who can protect the football is going to be a big key tonight, too. Both teams expect to score a lot, but obviously if you turn the ball over, it's going to cost you a little bit. The Panthers and the Orioles, state football in Class 6A coming up next here on 12 Sports.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Man, welcome back here to Eden Prairie as the captains meeting here at the center of the field as the Orioles and Panthers get set to do battle here. And kind of interesting, Joe, they got some longtime ties with the coaches a little bit too. Brian Vossen, the Lakeville North coach, telling us that his cousin played high school football with Darren Lampker, and then one of the Panthers assistants played college football with Coach Lampker. So obviously in football circles, they've both been around a little bit, and kind of a good rivalry that way too.
Yeah, and that familiarity has helped them have some scrimmages the last couple of years, so they're familiar with each other's programs, despite being on the opposite ends of the Twin Cities. But as we mentioned in our pregame too, I mean, two programs that have had really solid offenses clicking right now, and so we expect a great matchup here tonight.
Joining us from the sideline once again this evening will be Allie Arlt, and fortunately pretty dry out there tonight for you, Allie.
Hey, it's a lot better than last week, and hey, it's the state tournament, and this one tonight is sure to be an offensive battle. Before the game, Coach Vossen told me, he said, I think both defenses of both teams are coming into this game going, how do we stop that offense? Well, stopping that offense for Lakeville will include stopping Osseo's Prince Crua. Coach Vossen said they're going to need to load the box this entire game to stop that kid. Now, for Osseo, they're going up against Drew Stewart, who threw 4 touchdown passes for Lakeville in the section championship last week. Now, Coach Lamker says that while his team secondary is one of his strong points of his team, they're going to be really focusing on holding the run game of Lakeville in this one. Send it back up to you guys.
Thanks very much, Allie, and have fun down there on the sideline here this evening as we get set for a little bit of a track meet back and forth perhaps. And you know, it's interesting too in that Darren Lampker, very much an offensive background. He was a quarterback and he loves offense, so him seeing an offensive game isn't so bad. But on the other side, Brian Vossen, he's been a defensive guy, so it's got to be a little bit less comfortable for him to see teams run up and down the field against, you know, for both ways.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to see the offensive battle back and forth. Would like to see some stops here tonight, and he's going to keep some of that responsibility on his shoulders. But last week, you know, he was in a shootout with Stillwater. It was 21-21 at halftime, but he got a couple of stops late in that game, and they were able to pull away by a couple of touchdowns, outscoring them in the fourth quarter 21-7. Osseo got in a shootout again last week, as you mentioned, as well. So that's another interesting facet coming into this game, is just how they both got here last week.
There you get a look at Coach Vossen. These guys coached against each other in the high school all-star game over the summer as well. So a couple of guys with good football pedigrees and have done a great job with their teams, of course. Dylan Smith will kick off. Lakeville North kicking to start the game. DeMario Armstrong waiting back deep, along with Marmar Hughes and Dezon Easterling for Osseo. Not a whole lot of wind out here tonight. Smith, a high short kick, and it's taken at the 10 by Easterling. Easterling out to the 25-26 yard line, where he is brought down there for Lakeville North by Quentin Fowler. So we'll get a chance to see the Osseo offense. And Malik Gaylord has had a solid season, kind of, you know, doesn't quite get the recognition maybe that a Prince Crua gets, but I think he's done a solid job this year running their team.
Well, and he's going to be a key, because Osseo, when it comes down to it, they always have to put the ball in the air successfully to be successful on offense, and he will have a lot on that, on his arm and his shoulders here tonight.
Fake the handoff to Crua, rolling right, toss to Marmar Hughes, and he drops it as he juggled it and got lit up there. Hit hard by Jacob Trefeld for the Panthers, as you could look at the offensive starters for Osseo. So Osseo trying to cross him up, faking to Crua on that first down play, and Hughes unable to hang on. It'll be 2nd down and 10 here for the Orioles. This time the handoff does go to Crua, strung out, spun around, thrown down. Osseo asking for a horse collar tackle, but I don't think they're going to get it. Jackson Donnell grabbed him up around the top of the jersey and flung him down there after a pickup of a couple. You get a look at the defensive unit here for Lakeville North. Going to bring up a 3rd and long here for Osseo. Gaylord working out of the shotgun, handing it off to Krua, breaks through, and Krua into the secondary. Wrapped up and brought down by Trefeld, but not until he gets out to the 43-yard line here. Pickup of about 14.
You see they get that big hole up there in the offensive right side of the line of scrimmage right there. They had the tight end on that side. We'll talk about him later on in this game, but they have a big advantage on that strong side of the field.
Flag down as Krua takes the handoff, gets to the outside, but I think this one's going to come back. Krua trucks out of bounds. It looked like he maybe already knew there was going to be a flag coming. This might be an illegal, well, we'll get this call here, illegal shift against Osseo.
On the Orioles, 5-yard penalty. That'll move them back to 5. You can see Coach Fisher wasn't happy with the shift on that one. The flag came out early.
So 5-yard mark off here against Osseo, and those are the type of things that can be not necessarily drive killers, but they certainly set you back a little bit.
They'll set you back. The one good thing is it came on 1st down, so you got a few plays to make up for it. And you know, the offensive lineman we were referring to there was Nash Jensen. He's a tackle by size and nature, but they moved him to tight end, gave him a tight end number, and you'll see him on the left side right there on the line. Big number 87, left hand down, playing tight end on this play.
Gaylord flinging it out to Hughes, trying to get wide, but unable to do so, and he slips down. Well defended there for Lakeville North, as Drew, or it looks like it was Fowler.
Alex Hunter there on the coverage. Hunter does a good job of just keeping his feet, not diving or trying to make the big hit. Hunter just runs with him, gets his legs with him, and makes a great play there at the line of scrimmage and waiting for some help to come as well.
Could be a loss on that one. Handoff goes to Krua, breaks the first tackle, trying to stay in bounds there. Let's see where they'll mark him out. Right near the 40. He didn't quite get to that back to the, or he did surpass the line of scrimmage from the previous penalty, but just over the 40 is where they'll spot it. So a gain of about 7, which if you're the Panthers in that spot, you can live with that.
We've seen him run that play earlier. Jackson Elhart, the right guard, pulls around the corner, gets his good block right there, but the secondary for Lakeville North came up and did a good job not allowing that to turn into a big play.
3rd and 13 here for the Orioles. Gaylord in the pocket, firing for Armstrong. It's intercepted. A tip pass and picked off here by Lakeville North's Jaden Hack on the sideline. Armstrong able to fling him out of bounds, and so the Panthers get the first big play of the game coming on the defensive side.
But it was tipped right into the hands of the defender.
Jaden Hack gets his 2nd interception of the season on a deflection right there. Osseo was looking for a big play on 3rd down. The blitz came from the outside. Krua did a good job of picking up and chipping on that outside backer, so there was some time for the quarterback. And just overthrew that ball just slightly, and that deflection just a bad break for the Orioles.
So on the 25 of Osseo, Drew Stewart, the 3-year starter at quarterback for Lakeville North, brings his team out. First down handoff going on the left side here to Wade Sullivan, their workhorse back, driven back after a short pickup there. Jack Kramer wrapping him up for the Orioles. It'll be a pickup of about 2.
Sullivan's coming off a game against Stillwater where he rushed the ball 45 times, and you'd think it'd be a big bulky running back with those type of carries as well, but 165 pounds. He's a state championship wrestler.
This time from the gun, 2nd down and 8. They go handoff right side, and Osseo stands it up pretty well. As Sullivan takes the handoff, and Foley in on the stop for the Orioles. As you get a look at the offensive unit for the Panthers here. Not a whole lot of a gain there, maybe a yard. Make it 3rd and long here for Lakeville North. Boy, it'd be huge for Osseo if they were able to get a stop here to start things out after that big turnover.
4 down territory.
Stewart rolling left. He is a lefty. Throws, and his pass is complete as he got it to Joseph Larson. And this will be 1st and goal here for the Panthers as they spot it on the 7-yard line, 16-yard pickup.
Well, I'm really surprised. There was a lot of slack there, and no one really around the wide receiver when Larson was open, and they weren't really protecting that first down marker like you'd like to see on a big 3rd down play.
They'll call it the 6-yard line, 1st and goal here for Lakeville North. Their first possession after an interception, trying to strike first here. Stewart will turn and hand it off. They go fullback this time as Reed Sarla, 6 foot, 180 pounder, and Osseo does a pretty solid job of stacking things up. He'll get about a yard. So you get a look at the Orioles defense and trying to come up with a stop.
Well, a lot of times when you see this Orioles defense line up, they're undersized across the front line, and they are here again tonight with Lakeville North's big offensive line.
2nd and goal from just outside the 5. Stewart rolling to his right, fires complete for the touchdown. Lakeville North on the board first as Fossey makes the grab, and they are able to capitalize on the turnover. Panthers go up early.
Well, Fossey's had a tremendous season, so a lot of eyes should be on number 8 right there. And you know, they had the ball on the left hash mark, so they worked the wide side of the field, and they just got Fossey sprinting out. And when you throw a strike and put it on him like that, it was a pretty easy throw and catch for a touchdown.
Dylan Smith on to attempt the extra point. His kick is up, and it is good. And with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter, Lakeville North on the board first and grabs a 7-0 lead.
Lakeville North 7, Osseo nothing exactly. 8 minutes left to go. Quarter number 1.
Nothing too complicated about this route here. It's just a 5 and out there, Jay, and you know he runs a perfect pattern. They had a wideout that was a little bit wider than he was. He was the slot receiver. The wideout cleared the area by running post pattern, and once the area got cleared, he was wide open for that easy catch.
Looked like Osseo maybe just a little bit of miscommunication or not quite sure who was going to be getting to that spot. You're right, it didn't look like anything special on what they ran, but it just sometimes design, you're able to create that little indecision in the secondary.
Well, one thing that's very worrisome early on here for Osseo is Lakeville North dropped back to pass twice, and they did so pretty easily. I mean, that was no quarterback was not under any duress whatsoever, had a clear passing lane, and his receiver didn't have a defender within 3 or 4 yards on either catch.
So Smith will kick it off here for the Panthers. Armstrong will field it on the 8. Bringing it up the middle now, cutting it out to the right side, has some room. Armstrong out over the 30, gets a block, and he has a chance. Oh, there's a flag down. This one is going to come back as Armstrong goes the distance, but it is not going to count, it would appear.
He got a cut block out there at the 50-yard line, but he started up top. I'm surprised it was a cut. I'm surprised the flag happened. I know exactly the block that they're referencing. You cannot block below the knees or below the waist on a special teams play, kickoff return in this example, and you'll see the key block at the very end of this run. The block is happening. Unfortunately for the Orioles, he finishes the block by going down low.
I think it was on the kicker, in fact. Smith was the last line of
It was one of those blocks where you really didn't have to do it. I mean, he did take him out, didn't have to.
They end up calling a hold.
Oh, they're calling a hold, but
He's going to say holding against Osseo from the spot of the foul, which was right at
it's possible it's not the block that we're thinking that they called it on.
I thought it was this one right here.
Yeah.
But because that's right when he threw the flag. Tough one for the Orioles.
So instead of a long touchdown for Demario Armstrong, they still have good field position at their 40. That might have been it just prior to the one that we were thinking. There was a Panther that went down there. And so Osseo will have to get over the disappointment of that and come back with the offensive firepower here from the 40. Handing it off, Krua trying to bounce it to the outside. A lot of pursuit coming. Krua fighting, and he'll be losing about 4 as he's dropped by 4 different players for Lakeville North. You get a feeling that probably during film all week, the they've heard a lot about 22, 22. Here's what we got to do, get 22. And you get kind of jacked up to play somebody when they obviously had such a big week the week before.
You saw right there the linebacker for Lakeville North, just he undercut the blocking scheme. So Billy Hayter shot in underneath where the blockers were expecting to be. They wanted to kick him out of the hole. He went underneath there, got in the backfield, and disrupted that play.
Hand off to Crua. This time a big gap. Crua, stiff arm, and he's into the secondary. Prince Crua down that sideline and knocked out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. About a 33-yard pickup for Prince Crua. And there's Osseo sticking with it, not worrying. Nice seam that he got through there.
Yeah, that's twice now they've opened up a huge hole off right tackle, that kind of similar power play right side, and they're getting good blocking over there on that right side. Trying to run to the wide side of the field right there, and Crua, he does break a couple of tackles into the secondary with a nice little stiff arm as well and finishes that run well.
They'll go right back to Crua on the ground. Ooh, and he runs into a tackler there, but we'll pick up another 4 or 5 on this one.
2nd down and 7. Now, if you're an Osseo fan, we have the Orioles pretty well covered here tonight because the girls volleyball team
you're getting
tonight.
3-4 yards per carry on that one. You got to be happy with that first down play. You're with Crua, I think you want to get those explosion plays, but you want to try to stay away from those negative runs that he had a couple of plays previously. That's what you want on a first down play right there, is picking up 3 or 4, and then you know that he always has the potential to pop one.
On the 28, play action. Gaylord floating it in. Christian Tharp unable to hang on. They scored a touchdown on a similar play against Hopkins last week. A little play pass and rollout to the fullback, but Tharp took his eye off it here. Might not have been a perfect throw, but certainly appeared catchable.
Well, a little bit of jitters, I think. I think Gaylord got rid of that ball maybe a fraction of a second early because his intended target wasn't really ready quite yet. And although he did float it up there for him nicely, I think that they're just kind of not quite clicking on all cylinders despite a couple of big plays.
3rd down here for Osseo. Handoff going up the middle, and it will not be enough for a first down, but certainly in 4-down territory here, I would think, as Crua advances it to the 25.
Yeah, on 3rd down and 6 right there, they just kind of do a quick dive up the middle through the A gap. And it wasn't a bad play call, but it's usually not a play where you're going to pick up 6 or 7 yards on 3rd down. So I think they just kind of tried to chunk away at that and try to make it a manageable 4th down.
Here we go, 4th down and about long 3 or 4. And we get a flag flying here on an Osseo offside. They lined up offside, it looks like.
It'll be on the Osseo side of things. Coach Lamker is out.
3rd penalty on the Orioles here tonight.
His displeasure. That was tough part of the game, tough point of the game to take that penalty. It's a rough one for Osseo. It's going to move.
So that changes things quite a bit here. Move back to about 4th and a long 8.
It's a real tough deal right there. I think Osseo was probably hoping the opposite would happen, and they can maybe draw Lakeville North offsides, and it wasn't a really noticeable flinch up there, but something happened there on the line of scrimmage, and it's going to obviously change the play call here for the Orioles.
I'm under the impression, since they gave the signal for offside, that somebody must have lined up enough offside. Sometimes they'll give you a little slack and you'll look over and if it's a receiver and they'll let you know that you're offside, but not in that case. So 4th and long here for the Orioles. Gaylord dropping to throw. Looks over the middle. Pass is complete to DeMario Armstrong. And he'll have the first down. He's driven back, but he was near the 15. Tackled there by Hatt.
And a first down.
Good protection right up the middle, and that was key because then he gets a nice little clean passing lane. And Armstrong running a little slant in there in the middle, makes the catch in front of the safety. The safety makes a nice tackle, but it's after the first down marker.
Down to the 16 now, 1st down and 10. Handoff goes to Crua. Crua trying to get to the edge. Pretty good job of holding the edge there by the Panthers. He will advance at a couple yards, but Lakeville North did a pretty solid job of mucking things up out there. He never really had a cut to make. He just was kind of feeling for an opening there.
Well, Crua is really slow to get up, and that no, that's Armstrong rather. Armstrong after his catch, he was a little bit slow to get up too. But
and also Trefald for Lakeville North just limped off on their side of the ball, and he's a key performer for them as well. So we'll keep an eye on both those guys here. So they'll give him a gain of about 4 yards there. I didn't think he had quite gotten that far, but here we go, 2nd and 6. Gaylord throwing for Hughes and incomplete. He was looking for it to the inside there, and they weren't. It was just kind of a read, and he wasn't quite on the same page as his quarterback.
I think Gaylord is. I mean, it's a two-step kind of in a throw, but it seems like his receivers are not quite ready for him to release the football on a couple of those type of throws we've seen.
Well, and you notice too, the farther you get in the playoffs, you get down to the final 8, and you're going to see just a little bit better athletes on each of the teams too. Where some of these last couple of weeks, those were pretty easy throws and catches for Hughes and Gaylord. 3rd down play. They'll go back to Crua. Crua looking for an opening, but brought down actually from behind there as Fowler able to wrap him up.
Quentin Fowler, 6-foot senior.
And it looks like we might see the field goal team perhaps come in here for Osseo.
4th down here. It looks like Coach Laffer's going to go for points, so that's the wise decision here. You want to get points on the board. This is going to be a
Zach Tyson, the holder. Dean Lum on to attempt a field goal. It will be a 30-yard attempt from the right hash mark. Here's Lum's kick, and it is good. And Osseo is on the board here with 3:53 to play in the first.
Well, it's so important that they came away with points right there, because it would have been really deflating. You get a kickoff return for a touchdown called back, and then maybe you go for it on 4th down, you turn it over inside Lakeville North territory, and that would have really sent the kids to the bench a little bit deflated. But here you got points on the board, and you got to feel good about it. Now you have your defense a chance to work with an entire football field now if you can cover it on this kickoff. The defense got thrown out there with a very short field, and obviously did not make enough plays to get away from off the field without giving up a touchdown.
conversation like you did with me when you're working with him at all? No. I think he's cooled down.
So Lum will boot it away here for the Orioles as they have cut the gap now to 7-3. Osseo
plenty of football for you, not only on the Bob F.
showing they can move the football. I mean, it's not going to be easy to march up and down the field for either team necessarily, but showing that they can get some first downs and able to complete a big third down passing play, also able to get Crua some big runs. So I think they're still feeling good. It's just a matter of, can you match? You know, there can't be too many possessions where you don't score in this game, I think.
At Osseo, home of the Orioles, they'll be taking on Spring Lake Park. There's a battle of 5A heavyweights if I've ever seen one. And then also Saturday,
Lum puts his foot to it, trying to pin him over toward the sideline. It'll be fielded on the 13. And look at this, a double handoff. Wow, I don't know that I've ever seen that. Ultimately getting the football was Sullivan. Have you ever seen two handoffs on a kickoff like that, Joe?
No.
We get a flag here anyway.
You have a
Lakeville
holding
North
call here as well.
so they're going to have a little adversity here. They're going to have to move the wrong way.
Osseo didn't seem to be all that fooled by it.
We see trickery. It's kind of like a reverse motion or maybe some sort of one motion.
And we'll get a look at the call. It is going to be an illegal block against the Panthers. So a little different field position than the first time they got the ball after that interception.
Well, we talked about a little bit in the pregame that we thought that teams were going to maybe whip out some kind of decisions, some tricks out of their sleeves a little bit, maybe make some tough decisions on fourth down because they feel like they have to score so many points to get out of this game alive, and that's maybe one example right there.
I think it keeps things interesting for the kids too when you practice stuff like that. They're like, yeah, can we use that, coach? Handoff goes to Sullivan and brought down by Magner, but a decent gainer certainly there for the Panthers as they opened a sizable hole. And he will gain about 8, I believe, maybe 7. And so second and short here for the Panthers. You get a look at some of the Osseo fans who've made their way down here to Eden Prairie. All at 2nd and 3 now for Lakeville North. Onto the ground, a big hole. Here's Sullivan into the secondary. Quincy Williams able to drag him down out near the 35.
Tracking him down. Quincy Williams, but not before a first down.
Well, that play right there, look at it, starts up the middle right side, and boom, a little quick cut in the backfield. He saw a little bit of a soft spot on the left side, and he got up in there, and that was a great read by Sullivan as he found that hole on the left side despite it starting on the right with a quick cut.
On the 34 now, 1st and 10 here for Lakeville North.
4-yard line, shotgun.
Stewart rolling, firing over the middle, and incomplete as it was a little bit behind his intended target. They're looking for Trevor Sherman.
That's deflected a little further, a yard here or there, the other direction. That's a pick. It does fall in.
That's a tough throw right there, too. Left-handed quarterback rolling to his right and then throwing somewhat back across the middle. It's a difficult throw and a somewhat dangerous throw, but falls incomplete. Osseo wanted that deflection interception that cost them points earlier in the game.
And it was Demario Armstrong who was back there, and he was the receiver in the other case. They go with the toss out. Sullivan is wrapped up, and down he goes. They got him into motion a little bit, and then going with the toss, and Russell was there with help as well, and they'll be lucky to get back to the line. Going to be a short loss on the play.
Russell absolutely helps blow this play up. Good containment on the outside. That allows it to happen. Russell jumps over his block, gets in there, but Joe Sumi also did a great job on the outside.
3rd and 11 now for Lakeville North. Stewart looking downfield. A flag is down as he throws it up deep for grabs, and incomplete. Port battling there with Nick Fossey. I want to see if Fossey didn't turn up field. He seems when he comes in motion like he's starting toward the line of scrimmage before the snap. And
Foley, one of the defensive rushers for Osseo.
Illegal shift will be the call on Lakeville North. And I think Osseo will decline this. And indeed they do. So it's just a long incompletion here. And I believe that I noticed on the previous play, I thought Fossey, when he comes in motion, he's starting to just get a head start upfield.
A little Canadian football, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's a good break for Osseo. I mean, that's a good defensive stop right there. They made a couple of nice plays in the ground game, and then he forced them into a long passing situation, 3rd down and 10, and they responded.
Andy Kelly on to punt here for Lakeville North. Armstrong and Hughes waiting deep. Good snap. And it'll be Armstrong fielding it on the 33-yard line. Armstrong cutting it up, and there is a flag, a block in the back on Osseo. And kind of an unnecessary one there. You sometimes have to just admit, okay, the guy's by me now.
Omar Porty puts his hands up like, I didn't do it. When you put your hands up and say, I didn't do it, usually you did it. Yeah, it was one of those blocks. It wasn't dangerous. You know, it's not one of those block in the backs that, you know, the reason why you do block in the back is illegal is you try to protect players. This one was just kind of a little bit of an innocent shove, but when you see numbers, you're supposed to hold up, and you could just get in position there and wall them off.
It's so easy to spot in the open field like that, too. It isn't like, you know, when you're running a play up the middle and you maybe get a little grab here or there or something. Watch 36 Port right there.
Well, what you want to teach Port there is if he just runs towards that end zone, that guy has to get through him to make the tackle, and he would successfully make that block without even extending his arms at all.
And it even looked on that play that he could have, even in not being in great position, if he just hadn't used his left hand, if he had just kind of nudged him with the right, he probably would have been all right. Handoff and a nice stop there. Very minimal gain after the stop by Billy Hyder there for Lakeville North.
Yeah, Hyder is actually making a lot of plays. We've seen him bouncing around in there in the offense, and he's off to a great start this year. 74 tackles on the season. He's been one of the big influencers on that defense for the Panthers.
No gain on the play for Crua, so 2nd down and 10 here for the Orioles. We tick down under a minute and a half to play in the first quarter. 7-3 Lakeville North lead. Handoff goes to Crua, and Crua with a nice gap to run through there. He'll be short of the first down, but not by a whole lot as he crosses the 30. And will be an 8-yard pickup for Prince Crua. Has already rushed the ball 11 times. He's on about the same 45 pace as he had last week.
His 80-90% of the play is going his direction.
3rd and 2, and Gaylord goes with the sneak, and they look like they will have enough. And a first down for Malik Gaylord and the Orioles there as they got a good push. That's one thing that Coach Lampert talked about earlier this year is we have some size on our offensive line this year, which in some of the past years they haven't necessarily had.
Right behind the center, Schmeling there, and he does a good job getting a big push up front. Lakeville North they're different than some of the teams we see up in the northwest suburbs. They actually will go with size at the defensive tackle position rather than speed.
Here's Krua spinning away, keeps the legs moving. Look at Krua stay on his feet. Stiff armed and pushed out of bounds at about the 41, hops over the bench as Hatt able to force him out after a nice gainer there of about 7. Krua looked like he was going to be stopped right away there, but we got a flag down on the play. And it's going to be a hold on the Orioles, so they've already had 5 penalties in this first quarter. So Krua's great run is going to be for naught here.
I think that was that hold in the backfield there, and it's one of those real touchy ones. As a former offensive lineman, I don't like that call. You're kind of beating your guy. You're rewarding the defensive guy for falling backwards and making it look like a holding rather than just, a holding is when you're using a holding to get the advantage. When you're beating a guy all the way through the block and then at the very end he spins or moves, the lineman has to let go a little bit, but also you got to the referee, I would like them to kind of look to see who is winning that battle.
1st and 20 here for Osseo. Gaylord faking the pass, gives it up the middle, and Krua stopped for a short gainer there.
The difficult thing about that holding is it happened in the backfield too, so it's kind of really penalized them.
Got a couple is all on that play, maybe a yard and a half. We're down under 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Osseo does not have to snap it if they choose not to here. But it looks as though they intend to get up to the line and try and run one more play here. 7 seconds in the quarter.
Or draw them offside. That's what they tried to do, I think. They thought they got him across the line of scrimmage there.
And we will reach the end of the first quarter here. So our score after 1 is Lakeville North 7, Osseo 3. We will be back with more coverage here of the state class 6A quarterfinals here on 12 Sports.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
And welcome back. A few Halloween costumes in the mix here. Just a couple days away from Halloween here, and I want to wish everyone a happy Halloween out in northwest suburbs here. 7-3. Lakeville North leading Osseo after an opening quarter. Joe, is I think first and foremost what comes to mind for Osseo in that quarter is penalties. If not for that, they would be in a much better position.
Yeah, we've caught Coach Lampker on camera a couple of times in this game absolutely losing his mind in the first quarter. I think he would think that's kind of the summary of the first quarter too, is penalties. And the one unfortunate turnover by Osseo, but yeah, penalties have played a large component first 12 minutes.
Lakeville North capitalizing on that early interception and for their 7 points. Gaylord looking to throw, throwing deep downfield and incomplete, looking for Port. And it's not a bad idea to stretch that defense out a little bit, but they just didn't quite connect. And most of the time when they're looking downfield, it's usually going to be Armstrong or maybe Hughes, this time Port. Pretty well covered, though, by the Panthers, too. So 3rd down and long coming up here for Osseo.
I like taking chances like that when you're at the advantage on the 2nd down and short rather than 3rd down and long. Now, granted, the play was there, actually, if the throw was there. So despite what I'm saying, that play actually was there.
Here's Gaylord scrambling out to the right, gets away from the rush. Now throwing on the run over the middle. Oh, just tipped away. Great job there by Larson to get a piece of that one, or Hughes would have had it and maybe been gone. This was actually a well-thrown ball, but just a good defensive play.
Now you're asking a lot of a young high school quarterback, but what you could ask Malik to do there right there is see that safety's kind of cheating in, and what you maybe would do there is put a little loft under it and say, okay, that safety's taking a chance. Let's go up over the top then. But what a great play by the safety by getting this pause in on that one. Great stop by Lakeville North, and again, they take advantage of the penalty that Osseo had.
Larson and Sullivan waiting back deep. Gaylord is the punter here for Osseo. Angles it toward the sideline, and he didn't get a whole lot of this one. It's going to be short of midfield. And so only a punt of about 22 yards there. I think Gaylord maybe overcompensated for, trying to keep the ball to the sideline, but he got turned a little too much here. Didn't get the yardage they would hope for.
Well, we saw Osseo give up 7 points for the short field. We saw him play good defense and get off the field onto the long field. Now they're kind of midway through here, and see if the Osseo defense can build on some of that momentum that they got on the previous possession.
From the 48 of Osseo, Stewart turns and gives to Sullivan, and about a 3-yard pickup over right guard there. As Osseo, I think, not a bad job against the run for the most part. Sullivan had that one 17-yard run, but I think overall they'd feel they're holding up, in a decent level here through this first quarter plus.
One of the things I mentioned earlier is the strategies among the defensive line. Osseo, Maple Grove, I said a lot of our teams in our areas have now gone small up front. They try to go with some speed. Lakeville North goes big on the defensive line, but that speed has to win the battles and get into the backfield here tonight for them to be successful.
Here's that toss to Sullivan, a very nice cut, and he's inside the 40. Looks like he'll be just short of the first down. Armstrong in on the stop, but you saw his vision and just a sharp, hard cut there.
Well, you could see what makes him special already, because the linebacker for Osseo shot through it. He was ready to make a play. Russell was in there. Russell was right where that ball was supposed to be going. But what a cut and what vision to see that. Look at that quick cut right there. All of a sudden that linebacker that was once in position is out of position.
3rd down and a yard here for the Panthers, just inside the 40. Back to the toss. Sullivan will have the first down as he's shoved out by Quincy Williams on a pickup of 4, and they easily get the first down.
Key block was right there along the defensive end. They won that battle. Watch them seal the end right here. And they get sealed, and that first down is picked up as soon as that defensive end got sucked in.
Didn't give him quite as much progress on that sideline as I thought, so it'll be more like the 37, but still easily enough for the first down here for Lakeville North. Stewart looking left, fires, his pass is complete, and Sherman just wrapping up that ball. He knew he was going to take a hit, make sure he got both hands on it, and they'll get the inside the 30, about an 8-yard pickup.
Sherman actually had a great week last week. 8 catches, one of the touchdowns for the passing game. And there's a nice little target out there, just an easy pattern for him to run. Secured the ball, made the catch, and got them a good first down play.
2nd and a couple here for the Panthers. Trying to build on a 7-3 lead. Hand off to the fullback. Sarla will be stacked up. Did not get a whole lot there.
Foley makes a great play along the defensive line, just comes down from that end spot, makes a tackle on a fullback dive to make that play as a defensive end. That's an excellent play by the end Foley.
So another 3rd and short. This one will be 3rd down and 2 for Lakeville North. Obviously 4-down territory for the Panthers here, as Stewart might be changing the play up a little bit. Toss goes out to Sullivan. Sullivan lowering the shoulder, and going to be close here. A long look across the field at the chains here, and I think this could be a measurement situation. Williams did a good job getting off his block, and he is going to be short, yes.
Excellent effort there by Williams. You could see him. I mean, he was locked on with that receiver, and he just kept on efforting and getting off that block and giving him a chance here on 4th down.
4th down and a yard here for Lakeville North. Here's where you have to be disciplined and not jump offside. They go to Sullivan. He's stacked up, and he's not going to get there. Cal Teckham on the stop here for Osseo, and they will hold on downs.
Teckham just shoots through. I mean, Teckham just gets low, fights across the line of scrimmage, and that contact with the running back in the backfield slows him down. Watch Teckham 51. Nice low to the ground, gets in there, gets the running back low, gets some help from the rest of the Orioles. Teckham right there, what a play.
Huge play right there. It's not a turnover per se, but it's almost the same. So Osseo gets the stop here, and they will take over on downs at their 28. Split backs here behind Gaylord. Hands off to Crua. They want the reverse to Mario Armstrong, and there's a lot of room and a couple of blockers. Armstrong down the sideline and steps out of bounds at the Lakeville North 45. 27-yard run there for Armstrong, and they definitely had Lakeville North pulled over on Crua's way there.
And that's going to be the advantage with maybe so many eyeballs being on Crua. If you can find a couple of plays like that, that's going to loosen up that defense, and other people can benefit from all the attention that Crua is going to receive here this evening.
Even though it goes for 27, I think Lakeville North did a good job of getting back and cutting off the angle. That one looked like it might go all the way. Crua is stacked up, and down he goes. A ton of penetration. The second guy, Donnell, is able to bury him for a huge loss. So the positive momentum from that first play, it goes backward, a loss of 6. He was able to shrug off the first tackle attempt there from Zemer, and then second time around, though, not so fortunate.
Yeah, Zemer blows up that play, and that's what we're seeing a lot from Lakeville North. They are getting a lot of penetration right now in the backfield on some of those Crua runs.
So obviously a lot of time to go, but we're not quite seeing the offensive fireworks that we were anticipating coming in. It's still at 7-3. But plenty of football to go, and we're going to have a flag, a delay penalty, I think, on Osseo here. It comes from the back judge, and that should be a delay of game. So mark off 5. The Orioles have already taken 6 penalties in the first 16 minutes of this contest.
Yeah, penalties just really plaguing this Osseo team. They got to feel lucky that they're only down 7-3 with the interception and the penalties, but they're just always climbing an uphill battle. I mean, the long 3rd downs and 2nd downs that they've had in this game.
Second and 21 here for the Orioles. And now they're going to use a timeout. I don't think they had the formation of the personnel that they wanted right there. So realizing that, you can't afford to have another bad play backed up after that last one. As you get a look at our bracket here, as you see, Eastridge has the lead over Wayzata in our other Thursday night game, and then Eden Prairie and Grace are playing Friday night, ironically, on Osseo's home field. And over at Hopkins, our 12 Sports crew, John Jacobson, Ryan Iverson and company will be, and Bill Hunstock will be at the Maple Grove Burnsville game coming up. So watch for that one on 12 Sports as well. 14-14, we understand now, is it's some kind of intriguing matchups here. A lot of teams that haven't played each other. We were trying to figure out, I don't believe Maple Grove and Burnsville have ever played. And, this is a new matchup too.
This format is working out perfectly. I mean, hopefully the fans get out to the venues and people from the community come out and watch beyond just the local fans as well, because that's what the state tournament is all about. Eventually, this thing's going to be even better when we're at some neutral sites that maybe are a little bit more neutral and not at high schools, and maybe are at some of the stadiums that we're going to have to be able to feature these games.
So after the timeout, it's 2nd and 21 here for Osseo. Krua, the single back next to Gaylord in the backfield, 3 receiver set. Gaylord has time, throwing, and too high for Armstrong and incomplete. Had him there, not a ton of room to work with, but certainly was a a play that was working for them. Wasn't going to be a first down, but it was going to get a lot of that yardage back.
I'll tell you what, when I look at Gaylord here tonight, I just think he's lacking a little bit of confidence. Early on he had a drop where he threw a perfect ball and his receiver bobbled a little bit and then took a hit and dropped it, but there's been a lot of throws that are there for him, and you can kind of see his immediate reaction after he throws it is kind of a little bit of frustration with himself. I just don't see a very confident quarterback right now.
3rd and 21 here for Osseo. And we get a whistle before the play and a flag down and a false start against Osseo. Wow.
I mean, you're talking like week 1 level of penalties and mistakes happening right now on this Osseo offense, and just seems to be mounting a little bit. I think halftime can't come quick enough right now. I mean, if they can get out of this first half just being down 7-3 and they can all just take a big deep breath, collective sigh, and come out and play some better football second half, I think they'd be happy.
Now you're in a spot where it's so long to go that, do you try something short and hope you can break out a little bit, I think is what they got to be looking at. Well, maybe we'll see. They've got some downfield receiving threats too, obviously, with Hughes and Armstrong.
I think
especially.
you don't worry about throwing a pick. You just throw it deep and try to get a pass interference call, because if you pick it, it's just like a punt.
Here's Gaylord stepping into it, looking for Armstrong, and he's got it! He'll haul it in at the 18 or 19-yard line, and a first down as he just won the jump ball.
42-yard gain and 1 touch on that pass.
I think Osseo manufactures 6-foot wide receivers and a taller that can go up and catch balls like this. For the last 7 years, they've had different Osseo receivers be able to do this exact thing, and Armstrong's the guy this year. What a play this is to bail his offense out on a big 3rd down play.
Handoff goes to Krua, and you talked about Gaylord maybe lacking a little confidence, but I think that showed he had confidence in Armstrong. He basically threw it up into double coverage there and said, how about you go get it, Mario, and he did.
Give him the old Megatron treatment right there. That was a pretty big play.
Well, I think what you said was very true, though, too, Joe. If that ball gets picked off, okay, it's just like a punt. It's a gamble worth taking in that spot, and especially when he's seen Armstrong come down with so many of those type of plays this year.
Yeah, low risk to that play, a lot of reward, and that's what they went for right there. It was a smart play call and a great execution.
2nd and 8 now after the 2-yard run by Krua. Osseo looking to take the lead. They trail at 7-3 midway through this second quarter. A bootleg, and here is Gaylord, and he's wrapped up. They're trying to rip the ball first. It looks like he keeps it down near the 10-yard line, and he'll be just short of the first down, but a nice gainer. He hasn't been running the ball much of late. Boy, I don't think he made the greatest cut in the world on this play, because there was a lot of room when he got out to the edge.
This was a great play call. I love the design. They had so many Osseo Orioles to the left side already, and then their offensive line really sold it. I mean, they really sold it by all pulling to the left side there with their first couple steps.
Be 3rd down and a yard for Gaylord and the Orioles here. Trying to get the Panthers a jump now. Steps over to look at Coach Lamker and gets the play call here. No receivers out to that left side, and they're going to use a timeout again here, as they didn't have things exactly the way they wanted. Kind of an interesting setup there. You're looking to a lot of room to outside if you want to try and get Krua on the edge in a hurry there.
Well, that's what I think I think he had a play call where the strong side was on the right side, and you have the ball on the right hash mark. I think they're going to probably figure out if they can design something now that maybe goes more towards the wide side.
So another timeout taken here by the Orioles as they try to march this impressive drive going down here.
We've seen Osseo successfully run quarterback sneak a couple of times here tonight. I think that might be a decent play call as well here. Spread them out a little bit. Just see if you can't take a couple shots at getting that sneak up the middle. To me, their their 2 guards and their center have played great football here tonight. There's been some penetration in the backfield, but when they've had to get that 1 or 2 yards, they've been able to pull it off here tonight with a quick play. Coach Lamkirk tells him to get back in the huddle because he doesn't want to show his alignment too early here, earlier than you have to.
And now they chop it and ready for play here. So 3rd and a yard here for Osseo. Most important thing here, just get the first down, but obviously if you can go for more, they'll do that too. Hand off to Crua left side and trying to struggle forward. Boy, I think that second effort might have gotten him that first down. At first glance, it didn't look like he was going to get it because Hatt wrapped him up around the waist, but he made it.
Crua is a special running back. I mean, he has absolutely stood up here, and just some guys know how to keep their legs churning and getting forward. And what he does right there to drag 3 guys with him to get across that first down marker, that's incredible. Great effort.
First down, goal to go from the 8 here for the Orioles. Past the halfway point now of the second quarter and trailing at 7-3, and they're going to have to use another timeout as they didn't have somebody running off late there. And so they take their 3rd timeout in succession here on this drive.
Well, I don't know why. If he broke the huddle with 12, that would be a penalty. I don't think they broke the huddle with 12.
No, and the player ran off, wasn't replaced, whereas I think he could have been.
No, I think he made a mistake by running off. He got confused and ran off the field, where if it were 12 people on the field, they would have been flagged for a penalty. So I don't know exactly what he was doing there.
So they'll get a chance to regroup, as will the defense here, as Panthers bending a little bit here, but hoping to stiffen up and see if they can't keep Osseo out of the end zone and protect this lead here. They have to be pretty thrilled with holding Osseo to 3 at this point, and actually same other way too.
Yeah, I think both defenses. I mean, the coming into this game here, Osseo gave up more points than any defense in the Elite 8 here. Lakeville North was second behind them. These are the only 2 teams that have given up more than 20 points per game as a defense, but both of them have to be proud of the defensive effort they've had here this evening. It probably speaks to what they worked on all week.
So here we go with this first down play here. Gaylord up under center, and he's going to run it himself, and not a whole lot doing on that one, maybe a yard. Trying to cross him up with something a little different. Crua was set just a few yards behind him there, and they faked the ball to him, but didn't get a whole lot of push and no real hole there for Gaylord to try and run through.
This is where I got to think Armstrong is a weapon that Osseo likes to use in this situation too. I mean, just a receiver that you just know can win his one-on-one matchup. He's going to be on the near side of the field, right side.
Second down, goal to go here for the Orioles, and he goes to Armstrong, and he's got it for the touchdown. Nice call, Joe. We'll sign you up for the Orioles play calling.
Armstrong just does such a good job of getting off the little hand fight that you have with the defensive back, wins that battle, gets behind him, and then from what I've seen from him, he can catch it as good as anybody. I mean, he goes up there and grabs it at its highest point. And that was pretty darn good coverage by Jaden Hott. That's the thing.
Well, what did Darren Lamker say to us before the game? If you're a good player offensively and you're one-on-one out there, you should win. And that's what he asked Mario Armstrong to do right there.
I mean, watch Hatt, the defender. I mean, he's right there. I mean, that's as good a defense as you can play. The only thing is, I mean, Haddock's punching at the football and everything. I mean, that's just about how you would teach your defender to defend it without getting a penalty. Makes a couple swipes at the football here, can't get it. Armstrong secures the football. That's just excellent offense. And what the Orioles overcome on that drive to put 7 on the board is amazing. I mean, they had a lot of penalties, a couple of big plays, and that was big. You know, the one thing Osseo did on that drive too, Jay, is they wanted to be conservative with time a little bit. You could tell they weren't really trying to hurry up a lot. They were really trying to use some play clock. In fact, one time they got to play a game, I think they really want to try to give Lakeville North the ball back here with as little time as possible. Now, 5:09 is plenty of time to score for Lakeville North, but I think they really want to limit the possessions that each team gets now in this game.
And they were working on that last week for Hopkins. They said, you know, the more we can keep their speedsters off the field, the better. And they were huddling most of the time. They were not, you know, in a hurry getting in and out of the huddle. And it's something that, you know, you don't want to dial back the throttle too much, but it is definitely a good strategy and something they want to do. Lum will boot this one away. Larson will field it on the 8-yard line, looking to come to the middle, and he's tripped up. As getting down there to make the stop for the Orioles is Yang.
I got to think, too, Drew Stewart is one of the biggest weapons you have in this game for the Panthers, and you just kept him cold and on the sidelines for probably the last 20 minutes. You know, game time about 7 or 8 minutes, but real time, he's been on the sidelines for almost a half hour, it feels like.
So they'll have it on the 18. Osseo with good kick coverage there. Play action, Stewart rolling. Flag is down on the play as he throws into double coverage, and it is batted down. This flag came in the backfield, and I think we're going to see a holding call against the Panthers, and we will. Second penalty against Lakeville North, and even though it's an incompletion, I think Osseo definitely going to take this penalty and push him back. George Foley telling Coach Lamker, we're taking this penalty. I don't care what you think. Maybe not exactly, but he was definitely saying we want to push him back. See if that is, well, part of it depends on where the hold occurred, and I think that's what Coach Lamker is asking, you know, how big you might take the incompletion if it wasn't going to be. Yeah, they are going to mark it off here, so.
Well, and in the defense, you can see how excited the defense is getting that they got the holding penalty, because now all of a sudden they start seeing Lakeville North huddling up in their own end zone, and that's when the defense starts salivating.
Panthers will have it on their 7. They need to get to the 28, so, and it's going to be Stewart on the run, and he has some room to go. Armstrong bounces off him. Now they try and rip the ball free, but he will be out to about the 23, 24-yard line. Not enough for a first down, but a nice gainer there. First time we've seen Stewart run the ball.
Keep an eye on 5 of Osseo. He's in position to make the play, but gets held a little bit, but then kind of gives up because he got held. Wanted that flag, you got to fight through it. If you fight through that hold a little bit more, you might get the call instead of giving up on it right off the bat.
And DeMario Armstrong, as well as he's played offensively, came up and just kind of gave him a body bump there. You got to wrap up and drive through him. Second down and 5, so a nice gainer there for the Panthers. Stewart rolling out, throwing, and the pass is complete out over the 30 and spun out of bounds there is Fosse. And that'll be enough for the first down here for Lakeville North, as he will pick up about 7 on that completion.
And that looks to be the kind of an automatic play. Lakeville North can dial up any time. They roll to their left, a little bit out of the shotgun, gets great protection. Fosse, little 5 yards, hard and out. And it's a pitch and catch for those two, a couple times executed well tonight.
They connected on the Lakeville North touchdown early in the game here. So first and 10 now on the 31, so they overcome that holding penalty. Stewart rolling, has plenty of time. Now going to have to tuck it, and George Foley gets him. The ball comes out, and it looks like the Panthers will get it back as Kuhn in the center able to dive on that football, but Foley getting the sack.
This is also a coverage sack too, because there's plenty of time early on, but Foley keeps on churning, working on the outside, eventually gets to the quarterback and gets that ball on the turf, and that's the kind of plays that they want out of him. They think he can be a difference maker in this game tonight.
Well, and a good job by Kuhn to not just be standing around, you know, after you've made your block, and he got to that football in pretty quick order, because there were a couple of Osseo guys that looked like they might have a shot at it. Quarterback draw, and Stewart is wrapped up and dropped. No room to go that time, as Osseo defending well again, as Jenkins able to take him down.
Well, fool me once, that time Jenkins read it. Jenkins felt like he was being fanned to the outside, saw the quarterback begin to take off, reacted well to it, and then he got after Drew Stewart.
Well, I think some of the defensive players on both of these teams, too, probably heard all week about, oh, it's all offense. There's no way either team's stopping each other, and showing a little pride here. We're seeing a lot better defense than maybe what the stats would have led us to believe. 3rd and long here. Stewart, play action, has time, looking. Now throwing it downfield for the fullback and tipped away nicely. Good recovery. It looked like he was flashing open for a minute there, but Sumi able to just get a piece of that ball. It was really an adjustment by the receiver there as he turned the ball up, or turned the route upfield there. Sarla.
Battle of the 31s right there, and Sumi just gets a hand on it. I mean, it was a well-thrown football. And that was going to be what I think was probably going to go down as a first down had he not got his left hand up there and knocked that one away.
Kelly on to punt again here for the Panthers. Osseo not expecting a very long punt, or they're not caring if it goes over their head. And it is way over their head. And it'll take a good Osseo bounce as it goes straight sideways and maybe even back toward the line of scrimmage a little bit at the 41. I'm not sure why Osseo's return men were so far up.
They got lucky there because that could have definitely rolled another 20 yards had it took a normal bounce. I think maybe they don't have as good of a punter, and they're used to receiving their own punts in practice. That was not the right alignment there.
2.5 to go in the first half. 10-7 Osseo. Of course, they did use all 3 of their timeouts last time they had the football, so they don't have that to their advantage here starting this drive. But the momentum certainly feels like it swung to the team in orange and black right now, Joe.
Well, and I would think, first down is going to dictate what happens on the rest of this possession. First down is going to be a big, important key in how aggressive Osseo is going to be on the next couple plays.
Yeah, you could see Lakeville North being the team starting to use timeouts if they stuff them early. Here's Krua, and that's exactly what happens. The first guy bounced off him, but Donnell able to hang on and wrap him up, and it'll be a loss of a yard or so for Krua.
So now it's kind of a chess match. Both teams are like, okay, let's let the clock run on this play here. I mean, obviously Osseo can't do anything about it, but they could hurry, and they're not going to do that. Lakeville North doesn't want to call timeout because the last thing you want to do as a defense is call a timeout and then get scored on, right? So,
yeah, I think if they get another stop on second down, though, we might see it.
I would think so. And then you're going to see 2 people on Armstrong again.
Gaylord back to Krua, and he reaches forward near the 43. It'll be a pickup of 2, maybe 3 yards on that play. So 3rd and long coming, and now indeed we do see a timeout requested by Brian Boston and the Panthers. So 3rd and 8 coming up as Coach Vossen comes out to meet with his team here and try and see if they can't get off the field. And they had a similar or even longer situation for Osseo a few moments ago. And like you said, Joe, just threw the ball up deep for Armstrong, and he was able to make a play, and that led to that touchdown.
Yep. Now I think Osseo has their interesting decision here. Is do you just run the football and make them use another timeout, so that you know that they have to at least utilize the timeout, and then you punt the football to them, or do you actually try to get the first down here and put your foot on the gas pedal a little bit? It's a tough decision. I think we both have watched Coach Slamker enough to know what his instinct tells him to do, and that's to get the first down. But I think, he's also played a lot of late October football the last couple of years where he knows you kind of have to coach a little bit differently sometimes, and perhaps the best thing is just taking one time out away from him.
And the other flip side of that, too, is they've seen enough plays where 3rd and 8 handing to Krua doesn't necessarily mean you're conceding either.
In fact, that might be sometimes your best 3rd down play, right?
He's averaged about that in the playoffs. So, minute 38 to go after the timeout. 3rd down and 8 here. Gaylord is going to throw and complete over the middle to Armstrong. Will not be enough for the first down. He's stopped at the 49-yard line, and they'll have a little bit of a decision to make here. Normally I'd say punt, but Darren Lamker often has been known to not do that. Timeout is taken here by Lakeville North.
Yeah, I think you're going to punt the football here, I think. I mean, that's what I would do, and I would imagine that's what eventually the Osseo coaching staff will decide to do here. Lakeville North does take the timeout. Your defense has played really great here, and the last thing you want to do is all of a sudden give them a disadvantage by having only 50 yards to defend. You could punt the ball right here, and you're going to give them 70 yards to work with or 80 yards to work with, and that's what I think you'd want to do. you know, I think the other reason you maybe don't punt is if you think that there's a punt returner you're so dangerously afraid of.
I would not be super surprised to see them try something to try and draw Lakeville North offside here too, because it is close enough that it would result in a first down.
Now, their punter is the quarterback, right?
Yes.
So I like the play too, where you can start to run it a little bit. If you got the run goal, I mean, you're kind of putting a lot of trust in your in your athlete, but you know, that kind of run and punt, you know.
Now the coach at Lakeville South, he's probably out in his tractor. He's taking corn. He's bundled up right now.
So Gaylord in punt formation.
4th down and 2. Galar.
And they do
Oh
fake
my
it.
goodness.
It's right up the gut.
And it's not going to work.
They went to one of the uprights.
And Lakeville North gets the stop here in Osseo territory. Actually, they wind up with the ball as a recovery by Swedberg.
And that's just, I just don't think you want to, well, your defense has to bail you out now here, but I thought you could really, you know, thank your defense for the great first half and give them a long field to work with right there. But of course, we know how aggressive Osseo has been traditionally, and they don't, you know.
Tried to snap it to Easterling, I guess, and didn't really work out. So Panthers football on the Osseo 49, 1 timeout left. They will go up the middle and bouncing around to Sullivan, but really nothing doing. Just a huge pile there. He tried to spin his way out of it, but Osseo has done a nice job on him tonight. And also, of course, the clock continues to run here. So 2nd and 10 here for the Panthers. Stewart looking to throw, fires, pass is complete. And skipping out of bounds near the 40 that time is David Lindstrand, the 6'3" senior. They'll be short of the first down by a couple yards.
That's Osseo did a good job of, you know, giving them enough room to not get beat over the top, but you'd love for them to get up there and tackle them in bounds right there. I mean, that's a matter of 20 seconds if you can make that tackle in bounds.
Stewart rolling to his left, fires and has his man Fosse, and he'll get out of bounds right around that 30-yard line. So they'll pick up 9 more and easily get the first down.
A heady play by Fosse, gets the first down. Kind of, he sized up the defensive back a little bit, thought about making a juke, and just realized that getting out of bounds is the better option right there. Again, you just love to see Osseo get really aggressive and get up there and tackle at the moment of reception.
From the 31 now, 1st and 10 here for the Panthers. Trailing at 10-7, Stewart rolling to his right, fires, and has the completion to Fosse, and let's see, do they mark him out?
See, that's where the referee makes a mistake right there. He stopped his momentum. You got to give the defensive guy credit right there. He stopped him from going forward. That's a forward progress tackle. In my opinion, clock should still be running.
7-yard gain, and I would have to concur with you on that one, Joe. I was thinking the same thing. Osseo did what they wanted to do, stopped him, but they give him that step out. So 2nd down and 3 here for Lakeville North. Stewart again rolling to his right, and now he's blasted. It looks like he holds on to the ball somehow, as Foley was there first, and then Russell comes in and runs him over. And Foley is hurt.
Well, watch Russell here. It's a delayed blitz. He doesn't come right away, so therefore he wasn't blocked. Nobody saw him coming because it was a nice delayed blitz. And I like that call right there. Unfortunately, Foley down as a result, but you know, I'm gonna say I really don't like guessing on injuries, but he's wiggling around a little bit. That's always a good sign to me when you're kind of wiggling around and you can get the wind knocked out of you or something like that, you know.
It kind of looked like on the replay like his neck might have been kind of in an awkward spot as he was getting past the blocker and going in for the tackle, and then the combination of his teammate Russell and the quarterback hit him as he was in a somewhat awkward position there. And looks like he is all right. Another look at it here. Watch Russell close ground and just run into him. And then you see right there his neck is bent forward.
So a little coaching moment for Russell on that one too is he kind of put his elbow into him. What you want to do is swipe at that football as you're making that tackle, and that's a great opportunity when you get a quarterback lined up like that. Kind of go for that tackle, but really attack the football as well.
3rd and long here, 3rd and 13. What seemed to be a promising drive for Lakeville North is now kind of facing crunch time here as they've used their last time out. Stewart looking toward the sideline, and let's see, did he get it in bounds? No. Out of bounds, leaping for trying to make the catch. There was Lindstrand, but he's out of bounds. And of course, there's no force out or anything like that. You don't get that foot down, you're out.
Now it's at the, it's
yeah, he was clearly out.
Yeah, 34-yard line here. Normally, it's 4 down territory, but I would say at the clock, wouldn't you want to just pooch it down just to make sure Osseo doesn't score in the, I don't know. Maybe I'm getting really conservative in my older age, but I don't think there's a...
Stewart rolling out, steps up. Foley has his arms and legs got him, and Russell finishes him. Foley and Russell combining for the sack there for the Orioles.
Osseo just really got after him there and made some big plays. Good job done by Foley, and then Russell blitzed numerous times right there and getting in there and getting after the quarterback. Awesome job by the Orioles, and this is what I would fear if I was Lakeville North, is you do get sacked. Now the ball's at the 40-yard line. I know you usually don't punt it at the 33-yard line, but I would just kind of pooch it down there and make him go 90 yards.
See if Osseo's looking like they might just kneel on it here. No timeouts left.
Now he's getting conservative.
Yeah, 60 yards away from the end zone, and they will indeed take a knee. So that is going to bring us to halftime with Osseo holding a slim lead at 10-7 in a game that featured more defense than maybe what we had thought coming in. There's been some big plays on offense for both teams too, but also definitely some strong defense, and you can see that Osseo rush starting to get to Stewart a little bit late in that first half. So definitely a good feeling for the Orioles as they will take a lead, but a lot of football still to be played here, Joe. And let's go down the sideline now. Allie's with Coach Vossen.
All right, thanks, Jay. Coach, before the game, you stressed the importance of who could stay in this game more mentally through the first half. Which team did that?
I think both teams are playing great, to be honest. Certainly we'd like to switch the score and be up 10-7, but I thought it was going to be an offensive shootout. It's turned into a defensive battle, which is, to be honest, that's kind of our old school style that we like. And, I have a lot of faith in our offense. They'll turn something on for this next second half. What would you like to see from them offensively in that second? Well, we just got to get the run and the pass both working. We got a phenomenal passing game. We got a great line and a really special running back in Wade Sullivan. He's just got to find a hole and get a little bit of momentum and then start building off of it.
All right, Coach, looks like it'll be a battle through the finish.
Yeah, it does. Good game.
All right. Thanks, Coach. We'll send it back up to you guys.
Thanks, Allie, and thanks, Coach Vossen, for taking the time. We'll hear from Coach Lamker a little bit later as well. 10-7 Osseo, our halftime score. We'll be back with first half highlights and stats, and then our second half here on 12 Sports.
The world is online, and we're all connected. While there's a lot to explore and discover, we each need to do our part to keep the internet safe. Cybersecurity starts with you. Learn how you can stay safe online at dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect.
And welcome back here at halftime. Lakeville North band out on the field here. 10-7 Osseo, our score, as Coach Vossen noted with Allie. Less of a shootout than he was expecting, but I like the way his defense came around. Here's Gaylord throwing pass, tipped off Armstrong, and the quick interception. A big play early for Lakeville North. That was on Osseo's first possession of the game as Jaden Hatt made the interception, and it ultimately leads to a touchdown for the Panthers as they get on the board just 4 minutes in on the Stewart to Fossey touchdown pass from 6 yards, and Lakeville North jumped out to a quick 7-0 lead. Osseo battling back. They didn't get a touchdown, but they did get a field goal from Lum, a 30-yarder, about 4 minutes after that one to pull them within 7-3. And Osseo had good second quarter. Here's the touchdown pass, Gaylor to Armstrong, hauling that one in about midway through the second quarter. As we can look at our first half stats, the Orioles the better of things overall, and certainly got the ground game going, passing game relatively even. The 2 turnovers a problem for Osseo, as were the penalties, but I think they had to like the trending probably toward that end of that first half there, Joe.
Yeah, Osseo really controlled that second quarter. Lakeville North, as upbeat as the coach seemed from Lakeville North, I actually think it's because he's the defensive coach and he's probably happy with the 10 points that his team allowed. But offensively, a team that really averages a lot of points and is a very good offense, as he said, really struggling there in that second quarter especially, and they have to be kind of beating their heads against the lockers in this halftime.
All right, the winner goes on to the Final Four here. It's Osseo and Lakeville North. We'll have our second half of football coming up next year on 12 Sports.
The world is online, and we're all connected. While there's a lot to explore and discover, we each need to do our part to keep the internet safe. Cybersecurity starts with you. Learn how you can stay safe online at dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect.
Welcome back here to Eden Prairie High School, one of the sites for the quarterfinals in Class 6A football. It is Osseo leading Lakeville North by a score of 10-7 here at halftime as we get set to begin the third quarter. And joining us from the sideline once again is Allie.
All right, Coach, what we thought was going to be an offensive battle has really turned defensive. What did you like best from your team through 2 quarters?
How about my D, playing tough? I put him in a bad position there. Did what we shouldn't have done, but we're in the state tournament, so we're going to do some stuff to try to get a chance to win, and didn't work out, but our D just played so tough there and physical, stopped the run and did a lot of great things, so I'm proud of them.
Lakeville really loading up against Crua. How much are you going to really rely on Armstrong's great play through the second half?
You got to rely on them all. Whatever going to get us through here, we'll throw everything we got him at in the second half and try to make something happen, but we got to get 22 going if we're going to have a shot here.
All right, Coach, go get him.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck in the second. All right, we'll send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Allie, and thanks, Coach Lamker, as very happy with his defense, as we would expect right there. And, Prince Crua didn't have, by recent standards, a huge half, but certainly they got more out of their ground game probably than Lakeville North did, as Sullivan was held to 41 yards and Crua picked up 79 on 18 rushes. So not a terrible half for them on the ground, I wouldn't say.
Well, 79 is a great first half number. I think the thing that kind of muddies it a little bit and doesn't make it seem as good as it was always, third down and long and second down long because of penalties or maybe some of those negative runs. I mean, to get 79 yards based on what he was facing a lot of times, it's pretty good because there was at least 3 negative runs in that first half where he got caught in the backfield.
I think to a certain extent both teams could say it, but even more Osseo, you take away some of those real negative plays, particularly the penalties, but also the losses, and their half, those drives would have probably looked a little bit different. And obviously it's tough to score points when you are facing as many third and longs as they did.
Yeah, I honestly think we're going to see a great second half because I think, the section quarterfinals, 2 very unfamiliar teams. You step on the field here and it's got that state tournament feel to it, and I think we saw some nervousness, some jitters in that first half. I expect a really good, solid second half of football coming up.
I think some confidence gained by the defenses a little bit too here, and that they're saying this was a good first half, and from their standpoint on their side of the ball, I think both teams. And
I don't think it was actually a bad first half. I guess the penalties just disrupted the flow, obviously, right? And it just seemed like there was not that good solid drive put together. I mean, even Lakeville's one scoring drive came off an interception, and I guess if you look at that from that perspective, Osseo's defense, what a half they had, considering what they were dealt with earlier on in the first quarter.
Izetta and Eastridge tied up at 21. Looks like a good battle going over there as well. The winner of this game would take on Eden Prairie or Totino Grace in the semifinal round. Rematch of the state championship coming in the quarters this year.
The winner tomorrow night is going to go to Friday morning mass and really pray for Totino Grace. Not that you don't want to knock down the giant, but it wouldn't be bad if Totino Grace did your dirty work for you, right?
Exactly. Those teams played right at the beginning of the year, and the first half, Totino Grace played very well and actually probably had the better of things overall, but then not so much in the second. And Eden Prairie, that's been able to do that to a few people along the way. And
they're just rolling out so many great players, and they always have the best defensive and offensive line around, but then now you throw in a D1 linebacker, one of the best playmakers in the state in Spielman. I mean, they're loaded.
Talking to Coach Lombardi from Maple Grove about J.D. Spielman the other day, and he said, that kid single-handedly beat us. We felt like we did everything the way we wanted to in that game. And Spielman just killed him and was able to, he said he's one of the best players he's seen since he's coached in Minnesota high school football.
That said something. He's had a couple in his own squads.
Including this year with Isaac Collins.
Yeah, exactly.
Lum will kick it off here as Lakeville North gets the football to begin half number 2. Driving it away, Sullivan tracks it down on the 6. And he'll come back to the middle of the field and brought down. A very high tackle around the shoulders, tried to bring him down there and got quite a bit of them there as they will start on their 20-yard line. Got it right to the 20. A little high-low there on the stop. As finished off there by Yang after Omoti Inabo got a piece of him there. So Stewart and crew here on first down. Go to Sullivan, spun around at the 25, so a 5-yard pickup as Armstrong came charging at him from the safety spot and able to bring him down.
The good thing that Osseo did there, I mean, they gave up 5 yards, but they had a good job on the end, at least to turn them back into the middle there and force them back to where the rest of the Orioles defense was.
Hand off to Sullivan, this time sweeping to the right. Sullivan cuts up hard, and look at him run hard for that first down. Again, Osseo, they've been guilty of this on a few occasions, tackling pretty high. And even though he's not that big, Sullivan kept his legs driving, and it was kind of a chest-to-chest deadlock there.
He's 5'8", so you got to get low because that 5'8" is actually like the perfect little running back height. I mean, it's a tough guy to square up on, and you can see he's a talented running back the way he kept his feet moving.
On the 34, 1st and 10, is Stewart under center this time. Goes back to Sullivan. Sullivan picking his way forward out to the 40. It'll get 6 more on that one, and stopped there by Kramer and company. And I think they're Panthers starting to feel like they're establishing that run a little bit more, just kind of getting on schedule, if you will, with their offense. And we've got an injured Osseo player down on the field.
Well, Sullivan comes into this game with 1,349 yards on the ground, 17 touchdowns combining his regular season and his playoffs. But the playoffs, he's been especially on fire. And 5 touchdowns in the playoffs. So far this year, he rushed for 143 against Buffalo and 232 last week against Stillwater. They try to find that injured player.
Yeah, Jenkins is the guy who's down on, kind of happened a little bit away from where the ball wound up, so Kramer and Magner stopping him there. And it's Jenkins hobbling off to the sideline.
And Jenkins had a number of big plays in that first half, so they would love to get him back out there.
Be a 2nd down and 4 coming up here for the Panthers. Opening possession of the 3rd quarter. Lakeville North trailing Osseo 10-7, but putting together a couple of nice running plays to get things started here. They're going to go to the fullback. And not a whole lot of room there. Sarla will gain, looks like about a yard, and they've just kind of used that as a little change of pace. 3rd time he's carried the ball.
And the defensive interior for Osseo has really responded to those plays up the gut. They've done a good job of stopping those types of plays tonight.
3rd and 3 from the 41 here for the Panthers. Fossey coming in motion. They give it off. Sullivan lowering the shoulder. He's not going to get enough for the first down. And presumably a punting situation here for the Panthers. He gets about 2, but he needed 3.
Christian Nahn that time coming into the game there, staying low to the ground again, winning that battle up front. Panthers going to go for it here, critical.
Will they actually go for it, or will they try and draw him offside here? We'll see. Stewart not under center, working from the gun on 4th and 1, timeout Lakeville North. And we'll see if they still intend to go for it here after, I think we're seeing a little bit more of that probably than what you used to see, people being willing to go for on a situation like this out near midfield, or relatively near midfield anyway.
Well, and you mentioned out of the shotgun, and a few years ago I would have said that's absolutely insane. Why would you give the defense an advantage? You're not handing it off until you're that far back in the backfield. But if you look at the way Sullivan runs the ball, he's not, he likes getting that ball in his hands kind of with a running start at the defense. That seems to be how they find his holes, and he's more of a visionary running back. He's going to find that little wedge to run through. Is kind of the type of ways that they gain a yard or two when they need it. But I've always been more of a get under center, quarterback sneak it or pound it at them. But we'll see here what they do after that timeout. Maybe they didn't like their formation. They're going to go for it, though, Jay. But he is going to get under center.
4th and 1 play after the timeout. Stewart. Going to hand it off to Sullivan, and he's hit immediately. He reaches forward, but I don't think he got there. Great penetration for the Orioles is getting there.
Nahn again.
Nahn again, yes.
He 2 plays in a row. And Nahn is not someone that we didn't call his name in the entire first half, and here he is, makes probably 2 of the biggest plays in the game so far.
Sullivan kept trying to fight out of that tackle, but help arrived enough to stuff him there. And so Osseo will take over on the 43 of Lakeville North.
Osseo's defensive line, they have just played awesome for the last, I'd say almost quarter and a half now. They just really responded well to this game tonight and the challenge in front of them.
Gaylord under center here. He's going to hand it off to Krua left side, and not much doing there. He'll pick up a couple on that play. Well, and I wonder, too, if this doesn't, I think Coach Fossen kind of trying to send a message that I have confidence in our O-line that we can get this done, and then when they don't, does that plant a little seed of doubt in their mind? 2nd down and 8 coming here for Coach Lamker and the Orioles. Gaylord to Krua, now to Armstrong, looking for that reverse again. Broke through an arm tackle, but then is rudely thrown to the turf there. And he'll be about back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. Yeah, they're going to be a short loss, actually, it looks like.
Jackson Dunnell, number 12 for Lakeville North, not fooled by this play. He stays at home and slows this play. Does not finish the tackle, but he keeps him to the inside, allows some help to come over and make that tackle. And it's Hyder once again, leading tackler for this team, who makes the tackle.
And we get a jump here on the Panthers. So that penalty is not going to help. Still not going to be enough for the first down, however.
Now it's 3rd and 4. I got to tell you, what he did right there used to just drive me batty as a head football coach. And that's when they do this hard snap quarterback and the quarterback pulls out and right play. It's one of those things that just, I've always, again,
3rd and 4 coming up here for the Orioles offense. Back to Krua, falls sideways through there. Going to be interesting where they spot this. He's very close to the first down, but I don't think he quite got it.
I don't think that was a very clean handoff exchange either. I thought that ball might have been stuck on his hip as he ran through the hole.
that seems to be the play, which is basically what the formation.
Yeah, he ended up kind of squirting through there sideways, and you might be right that he was trying to maintain
Take
possession.
a look here. You can see kind of the ball. The ball popped out there at the end. It looked a little loose, looser than usual when he was coming through.
Call out on one team in particular. That's what they would do every time. They would call it out. So, you know, it's
Change come out here. I think they're just short, and well, very, very close, and no decision to be made here. You obviously go for it here, 4.5 yard.
7.5 inches, 4th down and short.
Prince has ran for an isolation blast play for a first down in this situation. They've also done a quarterback sneak in this situation. I think the sneak for inches, I mean, usually you just get the benefit of the doubt from the officials as long as you don't get knocked backwards.
Boy, they stop him on the 4th.
Here we go, 4.5 yard for Osseo, and it is a sneak for Gaylord, and he will have the first down. And I like that call there. They've shown an ability to move them at least enough to get a first down there. Why bother with a handoff, and things could happen.
You know, we talked about an alternative to Prince once in a while to give him a play off now and again to pick up 3 yards. I would run sneak once in a while. They run it so well. I wouldn't show it. I'd, you know, spread it out a little bit more, but I'd run quarterback sneak every 6 or 7 plays. I'd make that. I think right now your interior offensive line are winning the battle up front. I would reward them and let them run those types of plays a little bit.
Lakeville North was the #1 seed out of there.
Here we go. 1st and 10 Orioles now. Play action, and Gaylord rolling left, and he's going to keep it and dashes out of bounds there inside the 25 at about the 24. So they'll pick up 7 or 8 on that first down play, and there again just kind of keeping the defense a little bit off balance.
Oh, and those are the kind of plays I love as an offensive lineman, because you see those linebackers, they are all running downhill, and now that's going to make them run east and west a little bit more and not be on their toes as much. When you can make those linebackers second guess that they don't get to just go pump and hit the holes hard, that makes your job easier as an offensive lineman to win that battle up front.
2nd down 3 here for Osseo, trying to extend a 10-7 lead. Hand off to Krua, bounces at the outside, now cuts up hard. Krua, one guy had a chance, and he drags him down inside the 10. It'll be first down goal to go here for Osseo as Krua rips off 18.
Yeah, that ball's meant to go between the tackle and the tight end there, but he kicks it out as he got a good block on the outside. He liked what he saw to the outside, and Krua with great vision and good speed gets a nice block from Christian Tharp there on the outside. And
Swedberg with some great hand strength to drag him down by the back of the jersey, or that one was going to be a touchdown. 1st and goal from the 6. Osseo trying to punch in a big one. Armstrong comes in motion. They go to Krua. He is cut down from the side there after a short pickup.
You can see Osseo's got an extra offensive lineman on the field. They already do the extra offensive lineman at 10. Now they got an extra one playing fullback. In the backfield, they brought in Scott Christopher. And so you got literally 7 offensive linemen. Christopher's going to jump out now. He was in there for back-to-back plays, but interesting alignments right there, trying to get the edge up front.
2nd and goal here from the 5, and maybe to a certain extent, Osseo doesn't even mind that this takes a little longer. You don't go in right away. I mean, obviously you score when you get the chance. You can't take it for granted, but here we go, 2nd down, and a little flip pass, and Tharp wide open for the touchdown. Lakeville North sold out to stop the run. Nobody anywhere near Tharp, and it's an easy pitch and catch.
Tell you what, the Orioles really got the Panthers back on their heels right now. Not only did they win the battle defensively up front on the first defensive possession of this half, now offensively, they marched on the field right there, Jay. I mean, they are winning battles up front, making big plays, and great play calls as well. That's excellent execution and a great play call for the touchdown.
Lum's extra point kick is up, and it is through. And with 5:48 to go in quarter number 3, Osseo extends the lead to 17-7. Only question there was if he had too much room and would, get nervous because of that, as he was wide open. And Gaylord a good job just putting that ball a little soft floater where he easily gets to it, and the Osseo fans are excited about that one.
Lane wasn't that bad of a team. They were pretty quick defensively. They could get after it, and Osseo ran up and down the field just so fast on this turf.
So Lum will kick it off here. Lakeville North desperately trying to get some momentum back, build something. They started the last drive with a couple of nice running plays and maybe feeling like they're getting things going a little bit, but it just overall doesn't feel like they've had the ball that much in this game, and you know, various factors contributing to that, but they have to, you know, not that many drives left. They got to get something going.
That's where you credit Osseo. I think they've really just taken them out of rhythm.
Lum driving this one back down to the 3-yard line where Larson will grab it. Pretty good room up the middle and all the way out to the 30-yard line. So the Panthers will get a solid return to try and get their drive started here. Got a veteran quarterback, and Stewart, you know, hasn't had a terrible game, but he had some pressure late in that first half. He's 7 out of 11 through the air, but really haven't hurt Osseo with anything terribly big. They've got a couple nice pitches and catches to Fossey, but not a lot. From the 30 here, first down. Stewart dropping to throw and goes deep down the sideline. Fossey has a step and he drops it. Incomplete. He just got by Port, and Fossey seemed to didn't seem like he saw the ball coming in all that well. Looked like it was pretty well a perfect throw.
Well, he adjusted his helmet as the ball is coming toward him. I mean, it just interesting.
Boy, there's one. The Panthers.
Yeah, that one's not going to help you sleep tonight.
Yeah, that's your most dependable receiver too. That. So 2nd and 10. Osseo, a little sigh of relief as that one looked like it might be a big play. Sullivan is knocked down. Not much doing there. He will not gain anything on that play. In fact, a short loss, it looks like.
Russell's been just on fire lately as well. Russell gets into the backfield there, makes the play number 5 for Osseo. Really coming on strong. Had a great finish to the second quarter, and brings it back out here on this possession.
3rd and a little more than 10. Not quite a full 11, but it is a little more than 10.
3rd and long here for the Panthers. A near miss on a long throw on first down, then a run gets stuffed. Stewart under some pressure, throws, and it is complete. Nice job getting to the ground there by Lindstrand to haul that one in, and it'll be just enough for the first down.
Threaded in there, nice catch.
That one's thrown on the Lakeville North sideline, so you're not going to get the Osseo coaches jumping up and down for an incomplete pass call, but you did have the defensive back.
Looked like he did get it.
Looked like a pretty good catch there, and that's right at the first down marker.
On the 41 now, Stewart throwing, completes it to Fossey, trying to sidestep a defender, and then is wrapped up and driven back by Magner at about the 46 of Osseo. So 13-yard pickup there, and they've got a little something going here on this drive.
And they're hurrying up. They're going to go no huddle and continue to see if they can't get Osseo's defense on their heels.
Here again, we're getting back to the balance that Lakeville North has had, and both teams have been able to run and throw the ball well this year. Stewart rolling to his right, look out, and here comes Russell again.
I just can't believe they haven't adjusted. And you got to assign somebody the Mike linebacker. He's the middle linebacker, and he's coming all the time. Nice job done by Russell, though. He's been an absolute stud in this game, but I cannot believe that Lakeville North did not pick that up.
No problem coming up and scoring.
Zeroing in on the quarterback there, and Stewart unable to sidestep in there. So 2nd and about 17 here for the Panthers. A huge sack right there to break the momentum a little bit too. Stewart stumbled a little bit coming out of there. Now throwing deep down the sideline and incomplete. And they want a flag. They are not going to get it. Williams was over there. I think Fossey was trying to sell it here. Williams was sort of angling him toward the sideline.
I think you're right. Selling it's absolutely what he was trying to do. I mean, he's initiating a lot of that contact, and he slid feet first there. So
They're going to let him go.
hopefully Lakeville North fans saw what we saw. Because
watching the replay here from Channel 12, they're up here telecasting.
So 3rd and long here for the Panthers. Osseo fans excited here to open for another stop. Stewart chased out, just gets away, does not get away from the next man though. Down he goes. Sumi on the stop there for Osseo. So they get another big sack.
And that Jay, I've kind of harped on this a lot, but I mean, that's the different philosophy that we've seen a number of these teams have now is they rush the passer with speedy, athletic guys. I mean, these guys are guys that could be playing in the secondary, chasing after the quarterback. And a lot of times quarterbacks are used to running around, running away from guys, big defensive linemen. They're running from true athletes right there, and you just can't get away.
Kelly on to punt, so what looked like a promising drive for Lakeville North goes away in a hurry. Osseo coming up with its 5th sack. Kelly driving the kick. Hughes lets it bounce, and again it goes sideways. Looked like he had a catchable ball there, but decided not to grab it as he didn't want to risk a mistake there. It'll get out of bounds, and so Osseo fans giving it. This is something they, you know, to be honest, they've been hoping for in some of these last few games is let's get this defense to really get after it and get going. And boy, this, I got to say, this ranks right up there with maybe their first game of the year against Maple Grove, and this one being their best defensive outing of the year.
Well, it's about, I don't have the room to keep the stats up here, but it's about 4 or 5 possessions in a row now where the defense has walked off the field successfully, either on a 4th down or a punt, and they're just doing a great job right now getting off the field and getting their offense the ball back.
On the 27 now. Pitch, Krua fakes the handoff, and that one fooled no one, and they will lose 3 or 4 on that play. As of 3, Panthers were waiting for him.
Each time they've actually pitched the ball to Armstrong, that's the first time that I think Krua has kept it. And Lakeville North had that action.
So 2nd down and long coming up here for Osseo. They were hoping that the reverse fake was going to relieve some of that pressure on the near side, but it didn't work. I think the Panthers right now would love to force Osseo to pass, sell out, and try and stop the run. And he is going to throw it out for Armstrong, a one-handed grab, and he has got it. There is a flag, though.
It's a pass interference on the defense, though. He got grabbed right off the bat. He got held, and he still made the catch. That was phenomenal.
Officials quickly meeting to discuss it here, and we'll see if it indeed is a defensive penalty. Yeah, defensive holding, penalty decline, completion good. And what a fantastic catch for DeMario Armstrong. Unbelievable.
You know
he
what,
stays in bounds.
You know what? You know that teaches young kids out there is they'll never give up in the play because that ball's thrown behind them. A lot of receivers, you know what they do? They start yelling at their quarterback or mad that they threw it behind them. He put his hand out there and tried to make a play.
Oops, we get a false start on the offensive line. Now that's one thing prior to that they've cut out as the penalties they had in that first half. And this, you won't see too many better catches than this one. I was concentrating on the ball and, realizing obviously there's 2 parts to that. He's got to have at least 1 foot in, and he did. So 1st and 15 now for the Orioles. Gaylord handing it off to Krua, looking for a little room to squirt through, and he does. Thrown out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Stop made there by a Hyder. About a 6-yard pickup here, so bring up 2nd and 9 for Osseo. Not a bad first down play after that penalty.
And now you're seeing Osseo go no huddle, but it's not, in fact, a hurry up. They're going to only do hurry up a little bit on that one, but.
Krua spun down. Good strength there by Swedberg to wrap him up and throw him down. He will get about 3, maybe 2 or 3 on that play.
What I liked what they're doing earlier is they're kind of hurrying up to the line, which makes the defensive linemen get down in their stance, which is not the best way to rest. And you get the defensive linemen down in their stance, but then you kind of just hang tight and run the play on your own time. Big 3rd down play here, though, for both teams.
3rd and 7 here for the Orioles. Coach Vossen hoping for a big stop from the Panthers. They're going to keep it on the ground. Here's Krua, gets by. Krua into the secondary, first down, and he's down to the 44 of Lakeville. 14-yard pickup. Prince Krua, well blocked initially, and then he did a good job of picking a hole and going for it.
Evan Williams, watch 73, gets a great block here, seals that one right there, and that got Krua the first down and a little bit more. Williams was fighting hard on that right tackle spot there and really won his battle.
Osseo has really seized control of this one with a strong 3rd quarter. They're up by 10. They have the football. They're marching. They're presumably going to be able to eat up the rest of this quarter here and try and keep a drive going. Here's Gaylord in trouble in the backfield. He loses the rush, so throws on the run and it's intercepted. Picked again. And he has good speed down the sideline. Hat will be cut off at the 15 by the quarterback, Gaylord, or Krua actually. But a huge play for Lakeville North. Wow. Jaden Hat stepping in front. That's kind of throwing across your body over the middle. And look at Hat really turn on the Jets here. I didn't necessarily think this was going to be any great long return, but he really showed some speed.
So did the offensive lineman Williams actually, and he doesn't finish the tackle here, but look, might have saved the touchdown just with his hustle. He had to slow him down a little bit, and then Krua comes over there as well.
Huge turn of events so for Osseo. Here's the toss out to Sullivan. Sullivan getting to the edge and pushed out of bounds around the 9 or so.
Foley's cramping up. He's been so instrumental in this game. Foley can't really bend one of his legs. He's got some calf cramps he's dealing with, but we'll see if he stays on the field here.
They'll spot it right on the 10, so a 5-yard pickup there. Panthers trying to capitalize on that turnover. 2nd down, here's the little toss out. Sullivan, Matt, and nothing doing as he stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Osseo's defense has stepped up many times throughout this game. They're going to have to do it a couple more times here. And, a big win right here would just keep them to 3 points, Jay. Preserve that 7-point lead perhaps, but
3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left here for Stewart. He's going to roll to his right. Now stepping up, Stewart's going to run, looking to the corner of the end zone, and he's pushed out of bounds. It looks like it'll be enough for the first down and be first down and goal to go. He spotted at about the 3. Stewart again showing a pretty good burst.
Not a design run, just something he rolled to his right, didn't see what he liked, but then look at, as he works his way back, the right defensive end for Osseo had used the spin move, worked his way to the inside, that opened up the end.
4 seconds left in the quarter, might be the last play of the period here. First down, goal to go for the Panthers. Stewart handing it off. Sullivan will walk in for the touchdown, and Lakeville North on the board for the 2nd time tonight. 1 second to go in the 3rd quarter as Sullivan runs it in.
Huge swing of momentum as Lakeville North gets the interception when their defense really wasn't able to get any key stops. And then all of a sudden the Lakeville North offense takes that turnover and now 2 touchdowns off turnovers as they use that momentum and that jump.
A little bit of a high snap, and the kick though is up and good by Smith. And so Lakeville North pulls to within 3 now at 17-14. I really spoke too soon about how everything was going Osseo's way there, I think, Joe. It seemed like it was, but that turnover was huge. And the run back too. I mean, if they pick it off and he's tackled immediately, then that drive, doesn't happen so quick like it did. So the Lakeville North fans across the way with some reason to get excited here. Their team back within 3 points. That's the thing when you get in these state games. I mean, obviously a team that's only lost once all year, your fans are kind of riding high, expecting everything to go your way. And Coach Vossen mentioned that before the game, that was one of the things that he addressed with his team is, let's not hang our heads if something bad happens. They're a pretty good team over there. We know they're going to make some plays, and we know we're going to make some plays. And I think you know, it's part of the learning process for these guys to, you know, not get overly jacked up when one thing goes well, and not get down when things don't go your way for a few minutes.
And Gaylord's a quarterback who, you know, hasn't had a huge interception problem. I mean, he hasn't thrown any in the playoffs. And he did throw 3 in one game against Chample Park.
Onside kick, and they get it.
You can't run it, though. You can't run it.
Recovered by the Panthers. They cannot advance it, but it is Jaden Hatt getting to that football. Maybe Osseo's Evan Erickson came in that time to be the kicker, and he puts a dynamite onside kick together. It definitely goes 10, and wow, you couldn't make that a more perfect bounce. So, a little dose of Osseo's own medicine. They did this against Hopkins last week, and now the Panthers get the touchdown, and it looks like they will have the football, or will they?
Yep, they're just going to switch the fields.
Oh, yeah, end of the fourth. There we go, end of the third. So, after 3, 17-14, Osseo will be back with what should be a great fourth quarter here on 12 Sports.
Watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
Halfback pass, but Sullivan is swarmed before he can get a chance to get rid of it. He was going to throw downfield for Fossey, and instead it will be a big loss. So they wanted to add on to the onside kick with a big little trick play there, but Sullivan is stopped for a big loss.
Kick the ball from the 40. How can Lakeville North, how can the original line of scrimmage be the 49? Did they kick from the 40? It's got to go 10 yards for an onside kick. Was there a mistake? Steve, look into that.
Flipped out.
Sides of the court. Oh, of course.
And there is Sullivan on a little swing pass, and he only gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, Stevie guys are always smart on us radio guys. They have to dress up, though. All right, third down. I forgot we switched over to the fourth quarter. It's been that exciting of a game. We don't want it to end. We hope it's 11-7.
All the defense response, first couple of plays here. Obviously, Lakeville North went for that trick play, and you know, it's kind of it was a smart call actually. See how bad you have that defense reeling, but then it ends up going in Osseo's favor. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised though. That's how this game has been.
Hey, right, if, you know, a normal play, if you don't get that big of a loss. Fakes the toss. Now Stewart throwing deep down the middle, looking for Fossey, and he almost had it. It's incomplete. Armstrong was there. It was a little hand fight. And we've got a flag down way back at the line of scrimmage anyhow. This one looks like it would have been coming back even if he'd caught it. It's going to be a holding call against Lakeville North.
Yeah, and it was a really bad hold too. So I'm really happy that they called it, because I was about to really feel bad for them if that play would have went, because Russell got tackled as he was going to sack the quarterback. So, hey, what a great defensive play. I mean, is he not the biggest player in this game so far? The way that he stepped up, Armstrong, I mean, that's an incredible play right there.
He has been outstanding on both sides of the ball, and so they do decline the penalty. Stewart is also listed as one of their punters, so he may be the guy who ends up kicking it here, and he will. And Osseo did not have anybody back deep. Can they catch us, or will it get to the end zone? Great hustle. And let's see, is it going to be in the field of play?
The touchback, come on. It's both. No, he didn't call it a touchback. It should be a touchback.
Looks like it'll be at the 1 yard line.
Terrible call, Jabe. both guys went in the end zone.
Yeah, I thought it did too. He's waving his one arm, but
Come on. And I'm not cheering for Osseo. I just like making the right call here, but I'm pretty sure both guys went in the end zone.
But were they still contacting
well,
the ball at the time?
watch the second one. So watch him right here. He's not even close to not in the end zone right there. It's not even close. He's laying across the line.
So Osseo will have to start pinned very deep in their own territory here. Ball handling have to be secure. And they're going to throw it on first down to Marmar Hughes, and he'll get to the 6. Quick stop there for the Panthers by Hunter.
That's good. That's a good little play there. Quick 3-step drop, give him some breathing room to work with.
6-yard line, second down at 6. Just a little quick pass.
Had about a 4-yard gain as they were playing off Hughes a little bit. Kind of almost like a long handoff in a way.
Lakeville was coming with everybody on the inside. They were shooting the
Second and 6 coming here for the Orioles.
17-14 Orioles with the lead, but they have the ball here at their own 6-yard line.
They go to Krua trying to bounce around the edge, and another nice tackle. Boy, there have been a lot of strong plays by Hyder here tonight. He looks bigger than what he's listed at, 5'11", 190. Maybe it's just because Krua is small, but
yeah, he's all over the football, and they got some real studs in this defense for Lakeville North. You talk about him, and then also the safety Hat, who has 2 interceptions here tonight. Been a game changer for Lakeville North secondary.
Really big play in this game right here. If Osseo gets the first down, they have a little breathing room and use a little more time. If not, they might be punting out of their own end zone. 3rd and 4. Gaylord, it might have been a broken play. He's going to keep it himself, and it looks like he'll have enough for the first down. I'm not sure if that was by design or not, Joe. It looked a little awkward.
Well, judging by the offensive line, I think it was by design. They kind of looked like they were kind of had one guy out there kind of building a wall for him, but it was a pretty cool design play, I thought. Fake handoff. Yeah, he tucked it quick.
You're right. And there was a lead block with Hughes, absolutely. Just a different looking play. And you save those for times when you might need that important 3-4 yards. And that was big. Both for field position, also for time-wise for Osseo to get that first down was enormous. On the 14, handoff goes to Krua. Krua keeps going out. Not a lot there, but fought for a yard or so.
Right now, Crew is having a hard time finding that hole between the tackles, so a lot of his runs are ending up going off the edge. Well, Lakeville North's got a pretty good defense, and they're stringing things out pretty well, and they got good legs out there. So, right now, if you were Osseo, one thing you could really ask for is a couple of offensive linemen to really open up some holes between the tackles. That would make a difference.
Is he abandoning the hole too quick, or is that?
It's a good question. I can't. It's a different vision. It's a different camera angle back there to see what he's seeing.
2nd and 9. Gaylord handing it off to Krua. Got a lead block, and here's Krua cutting it up over the 30 and ridden down at the 37-yard line. They'll pick up about 22. For the most part tonight, Lakeville North's done a pretty good job on Krua, but then you throw in some runs like that, and they keep the chains moving.
Jackson Elhart, 77. Watch him. You think offensive linemen just sit in the hole and push guys around? Did you see how much running he had to do to get out there and make that key block? And you know who's doing a great job out there as well tonight? He has the touchdown reception, but Christian Tharp's had, he's been a big influencer, big blocks on a lot of the successful running plays tonight.
Well, Osseo was pinned deep. Not anymore. They're out to the 37, 1st down and 10, protecting a 17-14 lead. Back they go to Krua. Krua out over the 40 to the 41 or so. Give him 4.
Nice first down pickup for Krua.
30th rush of the game unofficially here for Prince Krua.
Loving that pull by Healer right now. They're seeing some good things. It's definitely something they can get in.
So a 2nd down and 6 coming here for Osseo as they continue to keep that clock moving. 7:05 to go. Darren Lamker and the Orioles trying to get into the semifinals.
Second down and 6 Orioles from their
Gaylord right back to Crua. There's a hole, and Crua into Panther territory at the 49. About a 10-yard pickup, another first down for Osseo. And here's when you ask those offensive linemen, let's open something up, and they did exactly that.
Yeah, they got a great combo block. So it's the left guard and the left center. They double team the tackle. You try to push him back into the linebacker. So it's kind of a 2-on-2 blocking scheme, and they dialed it up for perfection. They pushed that defensive tackle back to the linebacker level, and they won that 2-on-2 battle right there. And that was excellent blocking. Nice little hole opened up.
Beck Strand had a particularly good block there for the Orioles. So from the 49 of Lakeville North, first down and 10, and back to Crua. They go short side on that little toss, and he'll go out of bounds around the 45-yard line. So 4-yard pickup. The only part they probably didn't like was that they end up stopping the clock there, but probably better than having Prince take even more punishment, I guess.
Yeah, yardage and points are now, I'd say, you ruin with the clock a little bit, but you plug it in for 7 points on this drive, and the clock's not going to matter too much. You're going to be in pretty good shape. Right now, the offensive line has really gained some momentum in the last few plays, Jay. Defense got their hands on hips. It's looking good for the Orioles offense. They just got to keep it going.
Second down and 6.
Yeah, I think the Lakeville North defensive coordinator, coaching staff over there sensed the same exact thing we saw. Those defensive linemen were tired getting back to the line of scrimmage on that last play.
Gonna give him a timeout, a little pep talk, maybe a little chewing out, possibly mixed in.
And this is just me trying to see what I think he's talking about. He just walked right up to the secondary, Jay, and I think he's gonna really pull these guys up here. So he's sensing that they're building off some chunks of yards. He walked right up to the cornerbacks and the safeties, and I think he's probably going to see if he can't get some people jumping into the play and helping out with that running game a little bit. Also just brought in a sub as well, so we'll see what Lakeville North adjustment they make coming out here. Evan Erickson just checked in for a defensive back spot, and I think you're going to see a few more Panthers in the box here on this next play. It's where if Lamker sees the same thing I'm seeing, he's like, all right, let's go play action fake deep here, huh?
Volleyball tonight, Osseo upends Blaine 3-1. That was a 5 over a 4 seed, so Osseo.
So with 6:18 to go here in this fourth quarter, and after the Lakeville North timeout, it'll be 2nd and 6 for Osseo. Gaylord under center.
5-man defensive front, that's one change.
Faked it to Crua, and here's Gaylord keeping, and he gets a great block from Marmar Hughes, and he'll have the first down inside the 30 to the 29, 16-yard gain. Tremendous play call and tremendous execution.
Yeah, they brought an extra defensive lineman in there, took a linebacker off the field, and boy, Osseo didn't flinch. I mean, it didn't, that would sometimes throw an inexperienced offensive line off a little bit. All of a sudden, get a whole new defensive alignment in front of you, and they did not flinch. They just got up there, knew their assignment, and did their job.
And wide receivers like to catch the ball, but you better be able to block too, and Hughes did a great job there.
That was a big one right there.
Clock winds again here. First down and 10, Osseo on the 29. Right back to Prince Crua. Keeps on his feet and dragged down after a couple-yard gain there. Just kind of probed the middle there and then bounced it out a little bit. Right there, a little stack, so he goes the other way and held on to there by Swedberg.
Prince Crua, remember, he had 45 carries a week ago, and it seems like right now he's probably just begging for the football even more here tonight. Not slowing down at all here in this fourth quarter.
Second down and 9 here for Osseo, approaching 5 minutes to play. And we get a whistle here. Did they use a timeout? I didn't see a flag come out. Yeah, it looks like it is going to be a timeout taken by the Orioles. I think they were getting close to a delay there and decided to use that timeout instead. Osseo has been able to cut down penalties that, like we said, they were killers in the first half. Only have taken one here in the second.
The cool thing about that play being still snapped after the whistle and they threw it out there, it gives the defense something to think about. I mean, it might even kind of loosen it up a little bit here on the second down play. Osseo, if nothing more, Jay, I mean, the time that they've used up on this possession and they were on their 2-yard line, I mean, this is one of those drives that if they go down and put it in the end zone, though, it's one that you'll remember for I'm not overstating when the kids will remember for the rest of their lives. I mean, it's just one of those drives where you put this game away right here and you put yourselves in the state semifinals. That's something else.
Yeah, it's really been everything that is advertised in terms of competitiveness. Not maybe exactly the way we thought it would happen, but it's turned into a great game. Looked like Osseo really had him on the ropes for a little bit, and then Lakeville North came back and pulled within 3, but Osseo again doing a good job. Think of where they were pinned on that, maybe shouldn't have been, but down inside the 3-yard line there, and look at the drive they put together. Here's the handoff to Krua, and he is brought down. Nice stop there for Lakeville North by Zemer, ranging over and making the stop right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, so Zemer just gets across on what's a real hard block for that guard to make. It's a reach block on an inside technique tackle. So you have to get inside there and get him without holding him, and it's just a tough block to make, and Zemer did a great job using his legs getting to the football.
3rd down and long here for the Orioles. Lakeville North desperately needing a stop. Gaylord trying to draw him offside.
Now he'll pull out from under center. He'll get the play call from the sideline.
Gaylord looking out and looking for Armstrong, and he has it down to around the 5-yard line. 1st down goal to go here for Osseo, and not afraid to put the ball up in that spot.
I don't know if I've seen a receiver that's better at adjusting to the football when it's in the air. I mean, he is incredible. That's a well-thrown ball, but it's a better catch. What a great adjustment and a great play call. Just get it to Armstrong on the outside, and he will make it happen.
1st down goal to go from the 5 now for Osseo. A touchdown here would be enormous. 4:12 remaining. And Osseo trying to punch this one in.
17-14, they trail. They need a stop. They got to find a way.
And Osseo is going to use a timeout. Aaron Lampker wasn't happy about it, but something wasn't what they wanted there, so to use the timeout.
They call a timeout. The clock, though, is still running, unfortunately, so we're going to have to probably fix that here during this timeout. Orioles 17, Panthers 14. Just over 4 minutes remaining. We're in the
so Orioles getting over to huddle. I think they're going to have to put some time back on. The clock continued to run after that timeout was taken.
Using that white netbook up on the counter to screen.
Boy, what a nice weapon to have to be able to throw. You're running the ball, you're trying to protect the clock, but you still feel safe enough and confident enough in your quarterback and your receiver to make them pay really for trying to stop the run like that.
Yeah, he is an explosive weapon, and Osseo. I'll tell you what, I got to give Coach Lampker and whoever the wide receiver coach is at Osseo, I should probably get to know him. And it might even be Royce Winford. He's a phenomenal wide receiver at Augsburg. I know he's on the staff here, but man, they have good wide receivers every single year. And another one, comes up to the ranks here, and he has been, to me, the difference in this football game tonight.
Yeah, you think a few years back and you wonder, will there ever be another Joey Sonnenfeld or Jameer Jackson, guys that they had back then. And Sonnenfeld, by the way, having a real nice career in the MIAC.
And they used to be able to do similar things with Tussler. I mean, Tussler's a great running back, but they could put him out one-on-one out there too, and they would throw it up to him.
Yeah, they took the timeout off of Lakeville North side on the board. It was really Osseo's timeout, so they're just letting the scoreboard operator and official know that. So 1st down and goal to go from the 5 here for Osseo. Trying to stretch this 3-point lead. Here's Krua, and hit immediately. Is able to get forward a little bit there. Looked like he wasn't going to get anything at all as Hyder met him, but about a yard for Prince on that one.
It'll be second and goal at the 4. These are the scenarios, too, where these coaches, it's difficult because you're underneath this 5-yard line, first and goal. You're at about the 4-yard mark. You get a great stop. That time keeps thinking.
If I'm Osseo, you know, I think you give it to Krua. You're going to give it to him one more time perhaps before you go back to Armstrong here.
Here's the toss. Krua is getting around that left side. Gets a block, and he'll be in for the touchdown. Osseo stretches the lead as Krua getting an outside block, able to get on in on that sweep.
Well, Nash Jensen got his big block, and then again, I got to point him out again, but it's Christian Tharp who gets the key block on the seal. I mean, he's so good at making that block, but also he does not get called for holding ever and always be out there on the edge like that. That's great.
Here is Lum's kick. It is up, and it is good. And with 3:32 to go, Osseo 24, Lakeville North 14.
Great job done by the offensive line. I mean, there was absolutely no penetration there across, so Krua could just kind of prance to the outside. And, you know, a big reason for that, too, is they took Armstrong and another wideout and put them on the right side of the field. You take 2 secondary players, plus maybe the eyes of an extra one, because you have to kind of keep 2 eyes on, or 2 defenders kind of watching Armstrong. You overload that side over there, open up the near side of the field here for that run. That's great spacing, great execution, and a great play call.
So Eastridge pulls one out over Wayzata, 31-28 in another of the quarterfinal. Great season for the Trojans, kind of a bounce back year. For a little while there, you just took it for granted that every year they were going to be really strong. And they had a couple of, a little bit of a down year last year, and but came back real strong this year. But it looks like their season coming to an end against a very good Eastridge team. Lum will kick it off here for the Orioles. He's going to drill it on the ground and offside against the kick team.
That was a 98-yard drive, Jay. That's one for the ages right there. I mean, that really is. That is one that, you know, depending on where the season ends up for Osseo, that is one that will certainly be remembered. I mean, you're backed up there. Lakeville North had to feel pretty good about their situation.
We got to get this kick, keep things in front of us. But again, Lakeville's on their heels now with the 3:30 left. We're going to have to see a quick score out of them.
See if they're going to put those 2 seconds back on the clock. I think yes, they do, since that play never officially should have started there with that offside call. See if they'll just kick it on the ground again. A big return is the only thing that could really hurt you here. So I suspect they'll try to do the same thing again. Kind of hard to fault somebody who's just so excited that they ran faster and got ahead of the kicker there, even though it's a mistake. And he boots it through the air, and nice job on the catch out over the 43 as their running back there making the grab. As Sarla had good hands, the ball got up in the air a little more, I think, than Lum would have wanted there, but
he still kept the ball out of Sullivan's hands, which I think is good, because that's one thing that could have hurt you there. If Sullivan gets a kickoff return for a touchdown or even a better field position where they are right now.
Osseo's been aggressive on defense. We'll see if, I expect that they still should be here. Getting pressure on Stewart's a big thing. From the 44, he's been sacked 5 times. Stewart throws, complete, and a quick tackle made. And as the receiver, David Lindstrand, nice catch, but not able to get away. So they will pick up about 7.
Well, one change Osseo didn't make there is they brought an extra guy from the secondary in.
Stewart throwing, and Lindstrand is submarined. He will hang on for the first down as Williams diving in and cutting him down after a 6-yard pickup. From the 43 now, Stewart throwing and complete. Oh, there's a good form tackle by Williams as he hits Sherman.
They called him out of bounds.
Only about a 3, maybe 4-yard gain there, but they do get a little bit and get out of bounds, but that was a heck of a tackle. Osseo probably saying that's how we should be tackling all night.
Yeah, absolutely, right? You know, let the guy make the catch, but come in and close in the football.
2nd and 6 now from the 40. Panthers down 10. Time not in their favor. Stewart throwing, and Fossey has it. And out of bounds at around the 30, so it'll be another first down here for Lakeville North. Osseo, you know, making sure that they're not giving anything up really big. That obviously the 10-point instead of 7 is huge right now for them. They can afford to maybe give up a little bit at a time here.
Yeah, and you can sit back and hope that Lakeville North makes a mistake and eventually you get some pressure on them as well.
Stewart, plenty of time, throws complete, and another first down as Lindstrand makes a nice cut.
One difference you're seeing right here is the Osseo linebackers are staying at home, so you're not seeing the kind of pressure generated by just a 4-man rush up front.
On the 16, Stewart firing and complete. Lindstrand inside the 5, or Sherman rather, on the catch.
I think if you're Osseo, it's happening a little bit too quickly, though.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, but it's good rhythm by Lakeville North. I mean, they're a rhythm team. 3-step drop and the ball's out.
Stewart rolling to his left, fires over the middle. It's complete for the touchdown. Lindstrand will make the catch. And Lakeville North is not done yet. Boy, they really made quick work of that drive.
Well, they already wasted their onside kick. No, I think that that was exactly, I mean, if you're going to get back into this football game and give yourself a chance, you had to do exactly what Lakeville North just did. And, boy, that was not much time off the clock. And, you know, they have some hope and they have a chance here.
Well, you really almost would have thought that touchdown might have sealed it, but just the speed with which that drive occurred, they've definitely got a shot now. Extra point kick is up, and it is good. And so Lakeville North has life. 24-21 Osseo, 2:29 to go. Each team down to 1 timeout remaining as you see that touchdown.
Something you were successful at earlier as we'll take a timeout. The Country Shift scoreboard, 2:29 left.
Osseo did a fairly decent job of taking away the original, or the first option on that route, I think, but good job of settling into an opening there by Lindstrand and making himself available for that throw.
Well,
you know, in a weird way, Joe, doesn't it feel like sometimes the pressure almost comes off Lakeville North there, and they had their most relaxed drive of the game when they went down 10. You know, it's kind of do or die. You know, at that point, you just feel like, okay, let's go do it.
Well, and maybe when the not worrying about the balance of run and pass and just saying, hey, we have a great 3-step drop passing, quick passing attack the way it is. Let's just go after it. When they've done that tonight, they've looked great. The Eastridge and Wayzata game came down to the last play of the game, and maybe that's what we're looking at here tonight on this field.
Erickson kicked about as good of an onside kick as you'll ever see last time, and they did get the recovery. We'll see. I think they have both kickers out there in case they want to cross Osseo up and have Smith kick it, and it looks like he maybe will. Smith kicking it to the right, and he drills it out of bounds. They were offside also.
And now the good thing for Lakeville North is I think it's a dead ball follow, though. So they're going to get a second chance here. It's not like Osseo can decline it. They have to. Well, they get a second chance here, so it's not the worst thing in the world for the Panthers.
Not a good kick, though. That one had no chance of staying in bounds. Sometimes, you know, I think the feeling might be that if you can do it right, kicking it straight at somebody where they can't handle it is a good thing too.
Well, so that's why if you're on the edge here and you're getting a hard kick right at you like that, just get out of the way and let it go to bounds. It's a judgment call. Now they're going the other way. I wouldn't go towards Armstrong.
Smith looking for that high bounce again, and Osseo will get it. Standing up in the middle of pressure was Port.
He was the only one there, though. I mean, if he didn't make this play.
Another good bounce, and Port comes up and grabs it.
Did grab it. He holds on. Actually, it was 36, not 6. It's a great job by Omar Port. And now Osseo.
So Osseo will have it at the 48, 2:27 to go, and again, each team just has one timeout.
I need at least one first down if it happens on a third down, but you need, let's just say if you're the offense right now, 2 first downs and we win this game.
And then that second hop went over the top of the Osseo first line, so very traditional kick on that one. We couldn't do any better than that, but nice job by Osseo recovering.
All right, the Orioles, advantage Orioles.
Hand off to Krua, and wrapped up right about the line of scrimmage. See if the Panthers use that quick timeout, and they will.
Immediately to stop the clock. 2:21.
Krua at times in his career has had some fumbling issues. And that's something obviously that they're going to be talking to him about right now, is that cannot happen under any circumstance late in this game.
You saw a timeout signal, didn't you?
And it looked aggressively that
No, they did not use the timeout there.
So yeah, I'm surprised there. You know, I see what they're doing. They're trying to manage that one timeout on a third down scenario, but boy, I was
second down and 10 here for the Orioles.
Ball at the 48, second and 10.
Right back to the ground to Krua, wrapped up and drills backward. Wow.
He put a second hand on that football, though, Jay. I mean,
Evan Erickson got him.
He felt that ball get hit a little bit and threw his second arm around it. All of a sudden, Lakeville North just tightens up defensively a little bit.
Now they do use the timeout. Another real big third down play coming up here. Osseo showed no fear in throwing in this somewhat similar spot a little bit ago and got that big completion to Armstrong.
Yeah, that 30 seconds is just so important, though. It's.
You're right.
I mean, you drop an incomplete pass, and
what was it?
It just would really.
Wow.
You saw how quickly Lakeville North scored.
That's no chip shot. Right. Yep. Just a 30.
You have a play in your pocket that you've been saving for a spot like this. I think they already unveiled.
Yeah, they've got that play out. I mean, the only thing I could think of is you throw Krua, you throw Prince out in a wideout position, have him come down around and get a reverse. You might be able to isolate him against less defenders. That's something I would maybe think of doing, but.
Third down and 10. Armstrong will come in motion. They hand off to Armstrong on the sweep. Gets to the edge, and Armstrong is just dragged down, but he'll have a very important first down into Panther territory at the 34-yard line.
And this is where I go crazy too. Like, make sure he got out of bounds here. I mean, he gets the first down. Looked like he started getting tackled. I mean, he never goes out of bounds there. I mean, I just don't understand.
They stopped for the first down.
Oh, they did, because he marked it as stop clock. So they're good. They're good. All right. All right. Sorry about that. I thought we had a miss.
They should not need to run the ball again here. Kneel down time.
Still a deal.
And Darren Lampker frantically trying to get Gaylord's attention to not snap it too early. And takes a knee.
How about the play call there to get in Armstrong's hands, though? I mean, that's something.
Krua is a huge playmaker, but so is DeMario Armstrong, and they ran the sweep with him. And Osseo right now going to try and run this clock down and finish off a huge win. Gaylord looking to the bench as they will telling him, watch that back, Judge, and tell his arms until he starts to count down those last seconds. You don't need to bother snapping it.
Steve Pessick, stick around for our post-game show.
And he takes a knee.
2 years ago, Osseo made it to the state semifinals. Different format. It wasn't the field of 32. It only took 2 wins to get there, but this is pretty big for the Orioles.
So Osseo doesn't have to snap it again. The Orioles are going to win this one 24-21. Heck of a football game here, Joe. And hats off to the Osseo defense, the way they came up and performed in this game.
When you came into this game, you thought that, well, the offense can maybe blow the other offense away a little bit, and best offense wins. But tonight it was the defense from the Orioles that played outstanding, made a number of big plays, and gave up 21 points, but to a very good offense. And this Osseo defense was awesome. And the execution from the Orioles offense when they need it, absolutely outstanding. And there's just so many great, plays throughout this game that changed the course of the game, but then also the athletes that made it happen. Incredible game. This was a fun one to watch.
So Osseo advances. Eastridge advanced on the other side of the bracket as well. Eden Prairie and TG playing Friday night, as are Maple Grove and Burnsville. We'll come back to wrap things up here in just a moment from Eden Prairie High School. It's Osseo over Lakeville North, 24-21.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Sharing your passion starts with taking that first step. Take Lindsay, for example. Her first step was taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television. Right away, she received professional training and now has the tools and skills necessary to produce her own show. She's turning dreams into realities right from her own home. And best of all, she's sharing her passion with members of her community and beyond. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
(24-21) Osseo with the victory. Let's go down to field level and Allie.
Hey guys, I've got two very excited players, one on offense, one on defense. We've got Demario Armstrong and Cordell Russell. Cordell on defense, the sack master of the night. What worked so effective for you in this game?
Everybody just doing their jobs, like every gap just opening, just attack the keys and read our plays, and good things happen.
2 times your defense was able to stop the other team on 4th and 1. How were you guys able to do that?
Just doing our keys, doing our jobs. Every man does their jobs. Everything works out for the best of us.
Last week, Lakeville scored 42 points. Today, you held them to a lot less than that. How were you guys able to do that?
Just doing our jobs, like I said. Every man just gives 100% to everything, and we have commitment to the team. So this is just for everybody, all our brothers over there. So it feels amazing just to get this win.
All right, Cordell wants to go celebrate with his team. We'll switch over to the offensive side of the ball with Demario Armstrong. Demario, in the first quarter, you had a kick return called back. We won't even go there. We're going to go back into the second. There was a play where Prince took a handoff and he pitched it over to you. That was a 27-yard gain. Talk about how fun that play probably was.
I mean, it's fun because, you catch the defense off guard. They really don't expect it because, Prince been running most of the game, so we came up with a little trick play to get some yards.
On that same drive, it was 3rd and 26. You got a pass for 42 yards. Talk about that play and how great that was to be able to convert there.
I mean, whenever the ball's in the air, my coach just told me to go get it. He said if the ball's in the air, sure. So I really don't look at the defense or worry about anybody else but the ball. It's just me and the ball out there. So just went up and grabbed it.
Your one touchdown of the night was in the end zone. There was a lofty fade pass that happened really fast in coverage. You had to reach up there. What was that play like for you?
I mean, that was kind of easy. Me and Malik, we practice that every day in practice, after practice, running routes. We got a pretty good connection, good chemistry, so it feels good out there.
In the third quarter, I think my favorite play of the game was you were on the sidelines. There was a pass to you. It was going out of bounds. You tipped it inbounds to yourself. How were you able to do that?
I mean, I just try to keep good ball awareness and always know where the ball is at all times,
At the very end of this game, there's 1:30 left. It's 3rd and 10. This game could have gone either way at that point, but you were able to convert. Tell me about how effective this offense was able to be and to be clutch really at the end there.
I mean, at the end of the game, we know what the game's on the line. We know what we have to lose. We have everything to gain, nothing to lose. So we don't. A lot of our seniors, we don't want this to be our last game, so we went out there and gave everything, every drive. We never gave up.
It's not your last game. You guys face the winner of Eden Prairie or East Ridge. We probably know which team you're going to be playing. How do you guys prepare for that game next week?
Same way we prepare for this game. Just follow our keys. Listen to our coach. We got a great coach, Coach Lemker. Just listen to him and do the game plan.
I think he wants to go listen to his coach, go congratulate the rest of the team. We'll let you go out there. These guys advancing to the semifinals of the state tournament. We'll send it back to you guys.
Thanks very much, Allie. Congratulations to the Orioles, and they'll be playing the winner of the Eden Prairie Ticino Grace game on the Friday night game. So we'll follow the Orioles next week as well, and also watch for Maple Grove Burnsville football coming up this weekend on 12 Sports. Final score, 24-21 Osseo. Congratulations to the Orioles as they move into the Final Four. For Joe Moline, Allie Alt, and all of our crew, MJ Wilcox. Good night here from Eden Prairie High School.
Up here.